Welcome back to A Conversation with Albie. I'm Albie, and this is season 4, episode 1. Wow! 4 seasons already. Like I feel like Frankie Valli. I don't know. So for my first episode of season 4, I have a good friend of mine, an online friend. I've never seen you. We've been in the same place, but at different times. So if we had time travel, maybe we could have met. But you've met my friends, and I've met your friends, and we're online friends. So I feel like we're part of a family. John Irons, the beautiful John Irons. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great. How are you, Albie?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you on here. I remember asking you. I asked you about a week ago. You're like, you got a different show, another show? I got so many shows.
A lot of shows.
Did you get a chance to listen to the one I sent you a little bit?
I didn't. I thought you were just proving that you had. I thought you were just proving that the show was real.
Here's a thumbnail. That's proof of I have a show. Yeah, I have a show. So you're the season 4 opener.
So that's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't had John on yet. I don't think I've had Chris on yet. I'm not sure. I should have had Chris on because we've recorded hundreds of hours together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought of you for the opening of season 4, mainly because of your new book, which we'll get into, which I'm excited to talk about.
Thank you.
But did you come up with that little strange fact about yourself? Like for me, the one I thought about right now is I've learned now that I'm approaching middle age. I've spent all my life planning for my life, but never experiencing my life. And all of a sudden I realized, I don't have that much life left, and I'm still working on building a life. What the hell have I done with my life? Okay, it's not funny, but that's where I'm at. Did you come up with a little strange fact about yourself?
I mean, okay, so I thought of a thing that's kind of like a stupid human trick.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm going for.
But I also have
mine not so much.
I also have some philosophy maybe for later, but like yeah. So when you mentioned that, I was like, well, do I have to demonstrate? He's like, no, just say it. Okay, so I
Depends what it
can
is.
I can balance like a broomstick or any kind of like a whatever a Christmas wrapper tube, anything that's like long rod like stick shaped. I can balance on any finger of my right hand. I can like balance it, and I can switch while keeping it balanced from that finger to any other finger of my right hand.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool. Are you hitting
it
on me?
is.
Is that what that is?
Am I what?
Are you hitting on me?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's entirely useless, but it is my hey, I think I want to join the circus. I need a trick when I was in, I don't even know how old. And I discovered that I could do this thing.
That's
And
very cool.
yeah.
That's very cool. Have you done it with multiple ones?
No. I used to be able to do it with either hand because I used to be
That's cool.
ambidextrous.
Used to be ambidextrous. I used to be
Yeah,
anorexic, which is different.
that is
But
different.
I've fully recovered.
Yeah. Being ambidextrous isn't as life threatening, potentially,
No.
that
So
I
yeah,
know of.
anytime people give me crap about my weight, I just said I'm a recovering anorexic. Be happy for me.
Yeah. I told somebody that I was gonna be doing this,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Is there anything you want me to say? Is there anything you want me to mention? I'm gonna go on a little bit." She's like, "Aren't you friends? Don't you know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're friends, but like, yeah, I was the same thing that you thought. Like, it podcasting is a weird kind of friendship because I don't think you and I have ever had like a conversation like this, just like the two of us on
No,
mic or
it's always
at
about
all.
something like an episode of this
Yeah,
or a thing of that, but never about us.
yeah, and there's always at least I think one other people. I think this is the first time you and I have ever been on just together. I think.
Hmm? Yeah, because I don't think I've ever been on your show. I think you've been on all of my shows now, 4 or 5 of them.
Yes. This
You're
will
you're
like
my co-host on Quantum Leap Podcast After Show,
mhm.
and you guest on Trek Exploration. What
Yes.
other shows do I have? I don't even know.
I
I
still
think
feel like a
that's most of
pretender,
them.
honestly. Even though I know you always say like it's fine, and like, but on Quantum Leap, I like because I've been through you and Chris and Stacy and others in the Quantum Leap fan community, I've kind of osmosis. I've kind of osmosis into it, and I still feel like a poser. I'm like, I don't know a lot about the show. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like by comparison, I don't.
I think all of us do. I remember being at Walmart and buying like a headset that had a microphone, and I said, and I think it was like $19, and I was like, I'm going to be a podcaster. And then I hooked it up. I hit record. I was a podcaster. It's a very low entry level. I think you need a computer and a USB outlet or something.
Well, I do feel like a real podcaster at this point, because like you said, it's like you make some podcasts and there you go.
Yeah, might not be a great one, but you can be one. Anybody can be one.
Yes,
they can be better if they go through reductive arts, but we'll talk about that later. Where did our paths? I'm teeing up a lot. Where did our paths first meet? Where did they cross? I know they haven't crossed yet, temporally in the zone, but like in the physical virtually space. Like I'm trying to think. My earliest memory of knowing who you were was probably like people in the Infinite Potato Alliance talking about you, and Chris really talking you up, and he kept telling me John this, John that, I'm John that, and I was looking for more people for I think the Quantum Leap after show maybe, and he suggested you. I think. When did you first hear about me? When did we first get in cahoots?
Well, I think you're right. It definitely was through Chris, podcaster, interviewer, QL fan, and author extraordinaire.
Published author, like you.
Published author.
And I have his other book somewhere, but it's a time travel book, so it goes missing here and there.
Yeah, it'll show up later.
Okay.
Yeah, I think through another mutual. Well, okay, so I got into podcasting because of my friend Sean Ray, who was the
great Sean Ray,
the founder, creator of the now Infinite Potato Alliance. But back in the early days, he, much like you, was like, "Hey, big fan of podcasts. I want to be a podcaster." And he reached out. Have I told your story? I may have told your story.
No.
So Sean and I used to work together in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. And 20 years ago, well, yeah, like 98, 99, we worked together at this.
So you were a young teenager, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Your voice was still going through the change.
Around in there. I was in the, let's just say I was in the double digits.
11, 12,
30,
11, 12.
But so we both worked at this basically a pyramid scheme. Didn't know it at the time. But did door-to-door sales.
Which one was it?
Coupon books.
I mean, coupon books.
Like the product itself was fine. I don't even know if this is a thing that people still do anymore, but like this is definitely an 80s, 90s thing. But we would go door to door, and we would sell like these sheets of coupons, and would sell them for like $20. But like like the coupons were worth like $50 or $60.
Yeah, I've bought those before.
Yeah,
tell me how I was scammed. Yeah, I don't know. Was I scammed?
Well, the scam part was those were fine. The product was fine. The scam part was the business itself, because like you get pulled into a team, and then you create a team, and then you like go out and recruit other people, and then you get X amount of each person's sales. So that was the pyramid scheme part of it. So he and I were on the same team. And not surprisingly, that business collapsed, but we both gotten out before then. So fast forward to, I want to say 2015.
Okay.
And I had not seen or spoken to Sean in years. But Facebook does Facebook, right? So we're on Facebook, and every now and then we'd like and we'd comment or whatever, right? And so he sends me a message, and he was like, "Hey, would you mind if I gave you a call about something later? I was like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. So he calls me that night and he was like, hey, I think I want to start a podcast. Um, and it'll be like, we'll just talk because like about movies and shows and stuff. Like when sometimes we have to go on the road to travel for our job.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and every time, we would like have the road trips, so we'd like be in a hotel or whatever. We'd always have these really great conversations. And that's kind of the vibe that I want for the show. Like, so do you want to do a podcast with me? And I was like, okay, well, what's a podcast? I have no idea. It's like, well, it's like
I asked that question once upon a time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It's like, well, it's like a, it's like we just talk about whatever. It's like, oh, okay, so we'll be like a YouTube show. It's like, yeah, we won't be on camera though. It's like the radio for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, so you just need me to like be on the phone and talk about movies for an hour. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I can definitely do that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So that was the birth of the Cosmic Potato.
Wow. So you're like a founding member.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the one who came up with the name Cosmic Potato.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
I thought it should be something dynamic and like Sean's interpretation of it when I suggested it, he was like, okay, I like it because it's like a sci-fi but also we're couch potatoes. Which is true.
I never got the couch potato connection. I am slow.
It's okay.
I just thought it was a potato.
It is a
I'm
potato.
slow.
For me, it is about the.
Now that makes sense. It's genius.
It is the. It is the interaction and the interplay between the minuscule and the mundane, like a potato, and the the majestic and magical, like the entire cosmos. So it's a cosmic potato. That's to me. It's like we could talk about this. We could talk about everything in between.
I thought it. I like anytime I heard it, I was just thinking of like a potato being, like that was in control of the universe, like one of the gods, like
also
and he was just a potato, but an anthropomorphized potato. Is there a backstory for him? I don't know.
No, I mean that's another reason I liked it, because it's vague enough but specific enough to inspire all sorts of interpretation.
So how did it become the Infinite Potato Alliance?
The Infinite Potato Alliance was because a few years later, another mutual friend, Rick Tatro, also a regular contributor to the network, wanted to start his own network. And he called it Infinite Diversity. And so he started the network, and there were a couple of shows. I don't know how many, maybe 3 or 4 shows. And after maybe a year, several months, maybe a year, he was like, I'm not, this is not doing it for me. It's not hitting. But he didn't want to just like, let it go, because
let it go.
Yeah. He wasn't holding back anymore. So he basically, he was like, would you mind if I kind of folded into like if we kind of merged? And we were like, fine. And I think there was a debate. I don't even know if there was a debate. It was like a discussion. Okay, so do we just like fold him into Cosmic Potato? I was like, well, we should note the change.
Right.
And so we merged Cosmic Potato with Infinite Diversity, Infinite Potato Alliance.
It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being a podcaster is weird because like you have an idea, and I mean, my original idea of a Quantum Leap podcast, I've told that a bunch, but like a little over a year ago, me and Chris were thinking, the Star Trek podcast, because I've always been trying to get him to do the Star Trek podcast with me. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh, that's a great idea. And you do it. And then you're like, oh, I got to keep doing it. And it's like days of your week, every week for years. And it's like for one little decision you made, and you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
You ever had that feeling?
I have that feeling constantly. I've got that feeling right now.
Currently.
As we speak, as I'm hovering, teetering on the edge of 200 episodes of my podcast, Captain Game Show. We can get to that.
Captain Game Show.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's a weird thing. I've never had a hobby like ever in my life. I had interests, of course. I had like things that I liked to do. I like movies. I like shows. I like drawing. But it was always a pastime, and I never really had a hobby until podcasting. Like the difference is, like you said, like that's to me like a difference between like just a pastime and a hobby. Something you like to do, you just do, like whenever you feel like it or whatever. But a hobby is like a commitment. A hobby is almost like a job that you are, but your payment is, I don't know, satisfaction instead of money. It's like
Yeah.
Like it's like you and like how much money are you willing to invest in this thing?
It's thousands.
It's just for you.
Thousands after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've reached thousands yet.
Well, like, if you consider your time.
Oh, well, sure. Yes. Easily.
At $65 an hour, I mean, you're probably in the tens of thousands.
I was about to say, if I get paid for the editing that I do on my show, easily thousands. That's a decent job. That's like a good part-time job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or that might be a full-time job, actually.
Because it's an addictive hobby. I guess anything bowling, you get the special bowling ball and the special bowling ball bag and the special spray for the bowling ball and the special shoes. We get the microphone and the cord, and we pay the monthly fees to this, that, and the other. So it all works. So 200 people can listen to us talk.
Forget about the monthly fees. Yeah.
Yeah, those add up. I got Riverside. I got some kind of plug-in for Adobe Premiere. I got Adobe Suite. And then you have the server. Luckily, me and Juan split the server because it's me and him are like co of the Barren Space Productions. And but yeah, it all adds up like crazy.
I've got the main reason I don't have Riverside, but I've got Zoom, and that's pretty much the main reason I got Zoom. Like the only reason I have Zoom, because I have Zoom through my work. Like I have
cool.
And a lot of stuff is free, but I don't want to mix that account with my work account.
Yeah.
And I pay for the website.
It's a lot. I think True Exploration, it was like $1,500 right off the bat investment because we paid for artwork. I bought really fancy cameras. I upgraded the microphone. I bought a new computer just because I was like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And this is going to be successful and it's going to be awesome. And, in a year's time, this will be my full-time job. And
it is awesome. Like it is awesome. Like I look at I won't say real podcasters. I'm a real podcaster, but you guys have like the background set up. You've got like special effects. You got and you're like you post stuff on YouTube. I'm like, I should be doing that. I should be promoting. I should be I know I should be doing this stuff. But
only way to try to make money really is views on YouTube because you get paid.
Yeah.
Once you're monetized.
All right. But so what's my cut of this particular?
I can give you half. That's fine. If I ever get monetized on this channel, it's a brand new channel for YouTube because before it was an audio podcast, first 3 seasons. But I'll post those on the channel.
Yeah.
Like I'm planning on doing a new one every other week and then a classic in the week between.
Yeah. I didn't listen to any full episodes. That's true, but I did. I looked through. I was like, oh yeah, I want to hear that conversation. So I'm looking forward to.
Cool. Yeah, I think I had Allison on. That was a great one. Of course, I had Matt Dale on, which was amazing because I always joke with people and I say, we're gonna post this on our social media after you die, and it's always been a joke, but there I was like, holy crap, that sucks. But I mean, it turned out great because his kid was too young to remember things, I'm sure. But he goes on a whole thing about how much he loves his son and how important he was and life changing and stuff like that. So it's awesome to have that on the record,
It's nice.
Yeah, you're a dad. Tell me about being a dad. What was that moment like for you? I know I've talked about the moment where like my brain clicked when I saw Serenity come out of a birth canal. My brain just clicked and was like, "Holy shit! I'm responsible for this life form the rest of my life, and I have to do everything in my power until I die to make sure she's okay." And like, I totally changed person. Did you have like an experience like that, an epiphany?
I think, I mean, yes and no. I don't think it was like in that moment, but I think it was, as as the pregnancy is progressing, like it's very real. It becomes very real.
Yes.
And it's like you kind of compartmentalize because it's like every day because my ex, she had like kind of rough pregnancies.
Yeah.
So, there were lots of things to take and make sure of and like take care of and stuff like for every stage of it.
Gestational diabetes, Braxton Hicks.
Braxton Hicks.
Did you have to have the mucus plug replaced?
I didn't ask.
Okay. Like I know what I'm talking about. All I know is I had to run and get Thanksgiving dinner in the middle of June.
Isn't that the fake, not the fake, but like it's like you feel the contractions, but that's not the contractions.
Yeah, it feels like it and it is it, but it's not it. It's as
No,
bad as it.
she was just very sick, like
morning sickness and stuff.
well, all day, like
All day
constantly.
sickness. Yeah,
Yes,
I don't know why they
yes,
call it morning sickness.
yeah.
Maybe that's when women used to drink while they were pregnant. The hangover part.
Well, and then and you also, morning sickness and warm towels, warm wet towels. It's all. It's like it's all you need on TV to have a baby.
Do you remember the first
Um,
moment you saw her stomach move by itself?
no, not specifically. I
Yeah,
remember but I went with her to like every visit, like
that's
every
awesome.
time she went to any appointment. Um, and I remember like I knew that we had a daughter. We have a daughter and a son, and Zara, our daughter, was first.
No.
I'm like, I know she's going to be beautiful, so I spent maybe I shouldn't have. Like I feel like this is a thing that a lot of people overlook and they're taken
Hmm.
by surprise. I'm like, it's not going to get me. I'm going to be prepared. I built up an immunity to cuteness. And people like they think I'm joking, but like no, I was like, she's going to be adorable and she's going to
Obviously.
ask me for stuff. And
Hmm.
I'm going to have to say no to those. Oh, she's got the eyes and the quivering lip. Like no, I was like, I get my game face. I'm mentally prepared, and she was very adorable, and still is very cute at 14, cute.
Yeah.
Um, but I was like, this is not. Nope. She's gonna want ice cream, and I'm gonna say nope, nope.
You,
But I do remember when she came out, like when I was holding her.
oh.
Um, she was beautiful.
Mm.
And and I was like, oh God, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble
Well,
because like she did absolutely test the metal of like, but also I'm raising a girl and she's cute. It's gonna be trouble.
mm.
I'm in trouble.
You are a stronger man than I. I don't think I always cave, you know. It's weird
Well, that's
because
like you had to prepare. You had to
I
bulk
never
up for
planned
the.
on it because like her mom was always the disciplinarian and I was always the fun dad, you know.
Mhm.
And I guess I kind of, you know, I didn't really spoil her that much until like after the separation. And then I was like, oh my goodness, her life is ruined. What did I do to her? You know, by putting her in this predicament that is for no fault of her own. And the rest of her life, she's like on the go and she doesn't know where she wakes up in the morning. And it's, you know, it's partially my fault because it was my idea. So then when she's like, "Can I have an ice cream cone?" I go, "Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you want cherries on it?" I don't know. I try to make every moment as best I can, and then a lot of the things too is I decided to have her after my dad died, and he while he was dying, he convinced me to have her, and because he said, "You'll never know how much I love you until you have your own kid," and all this stuff, and he just was giving the
Mm.
dad wisdom, and I was sitting in hospice in the couch next to his bed. It was a really nice setup, and I was just absorbing it all. I hit record, and I didn't want to miss anything. After Serenity was walking and talking, and first couple years, I thought everything was great, and we were a family, Ohana. And
Hmm.
then when the whole everything that happened, um, I realized, I always knew it was not life wasn't about me anymore. It was about her. But then after
Right.
my dad died, and then this happened, I was like, well, really, my only job in life is to make sure she has a good life. And then I started thinking of it as, when she's my age, I'm a memory, I'm a ghost. But
Mm.
I have that special power that I'm back in time from her adult self, that I'm a ghost, but I have the ability right now to make the best memories for her when she thinks back about it. So everything I do now is just about making sure that she has great memories and knowing she's loved. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a weird way to think about it, but
How old was Serenity when you guys split up?
uh about 2.5, I want to say. So she didn't really comprehend it, and her mom lived with me for the next couple years, and her and I were on and off again, and there was a lot of miscommunication, whether intentional or not, and different concepts of understanding of what was going on.
Hmm.
And that was just for me. And for her, she was too young to realize anything was going on. So she really didn't. She has like one of her earliest memories is seeing moving boxes in her house. And she couldn't understand why only one of her parents was moving. And that was very traumatic for her.
We, like I said, we have two, um, 14 and 11 now,
Hmm.
and we only divorced. It's going on 3 years, like 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Um,
When was the separation? How long before that, though?
well, we separated for the first time in 15, 16. No, is that right?
That
Um,
long ago now?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
but that was so we'd been having problems, obviously,
Yeah.
and we separated. I moved out. At that point, Zara was, if it was uh, 2015, she was maybe 5 or 6, and Malcolm was still basically a baby. Or
Yeah.
was that cannot be 2015? Was not that can't be it?
10 years ago?
I
How old were
mean,
the kids about? Oh, you said.
well, I
So
mean, I'm
if you
trying to
do the math
remember.
that
Like
way.
like Malcolm was in the time is messing me up because like it still doesn't feel like 2025.
Right.
Um,
Well, we skipped a couple years there.
yeah.
We had a time
Uh,
jump.
um,
It was nice to have a couple years off, but, still messes up our comprehension.
maybe 17.
And now we don't do
Anyway,
decades anymore.
yeah. And it's also weird jumping centuries.
Yeah, it is.
Everything's crazy. Um, but they were, they were like conscious entities at that point. Um, and so we separated, but honestly, just financially, because we're still co-parenting. It's not like I moved away, or she did.
Right.
Um,
From what I've gathered, it was very. You guys were good about it.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a process,
Yeah.
but like um, that was. I mean, okay. So we separated. Um, I moved into an apartment. They were still in the house, but you go from having everybody's income going towards one set of expenses
Yeah.
to splitting everything,
Doubling the expenses. Yeah.
right. So now I've got my own rent, I've got my own bills, I've got like this other stuff. She's handling stuff on her own that has always been a dual income thing. And so after a few months, um, both of us just kind of like struggling, um, I basically kind of moved back in, and it was like I rented like the downstairs basically. So we were not together back as a couple. It was not romantic. We were effectively roommates, but we were also still co-parents. So and it was convenient because instead of me having to travel to go pick up the kids or whatever, I'm already right there.
That's a really good
and we're still
situation.
It was it
For the kids and for the convenience.
Yeah, and we're still doing like family trips together.
Oh,
right. So over time, the roommate financial situation accommodation just kind of morphed into, it was never romantic again. I'm not gonna say never, but like it was never really intentionally. There was never like the spark never sparked again.
I 100% understand what you're saying.
But we did kind of fall back into
You do
being married.
Yeah.
And
100%,
so
I understand.
Yeah, but it was never. And I don't think it's coming across as me putting the blame on her or me. Like we never really fixed the stuff that got broken. We just kind of continued. And so there wasn't much. It was never romantic, but it was very loving for the most part. But we weren't like a couple, but we were like an awesome team, but not a couple. And so, like I said, we never really fixed what needed fixing. And so over time, like stuff started kind of bubbling back up to the surface, and like we like the issues that we had kind of resurfaced and like compounded. And so, at this point, you get to the point where you really are just staying together for the kids. And that's why I asked how old Serenity was, because like I kind of wish our kids were younger so they wouldn't have the memories of like how it was before as much.
Yeah.
But so we got to the point where you're staying together for the kids, but it's worse for the kids because like they need to not see mom and dad miserable all the time. They need to not be in a toxic environment all the time. And it is like, on the other side of this, I can absolutely attest. Even once I moved out, like we're both happier people and better people, and the environment that they're in is better. Whether they're like, we go out and do stuff like as a family often. We're at a thing last night, actually, or 2 nights ago. Malcolm made it up to like the next level of Boy Scouts, and we're all there. Like we're always,
cool. Congratulations.
Like I would not say that this is ideal. If I was writing my story, would this be how our family was? No, but it is full of love, and it is way better. This was absolutely the right course and the right decision. And we do still, you know, we are still figuring stuff out. Like, because I hear that a lot. What you said, like, you know, you guys have a great relationship, and it seems very collaborative and cooperative, and that's true. But it's because, like you said, like our focus is always, you know, best for the kids. What's best for the kids? And I don't. We were best friends. Halima and I were best
Oh.
friends before, like, since high school, before we were ever a couple,
Hmm.
and that love is still there. Um, but honestly, it was really kind of buried and hidden and shrouded, um, when we were going through all of our stuff. And now that we're not a couple, a lot of it has come back. Again, not romantic, but like
Hmm.
we are better friends now than we've been in years
I
since
have a
the
few
divorce.
exes that one in particular was an ex fiance that we were together for like, I don't know, 5, 7 years or something like that. And we went from best friends to lovers to engaged to what just happened to a little bit of time to being best friends again.
Hmm.
So I love that love that endures all that.
Yeah.
That's that friendship love. See, Rennie's situation was different because one thing she cries about a lot is she doesn't have any memories of her parents being happy, with her
Hmm.
together as a family because she's only seen two people that just can't communicate at all. Like I have I don't know if it's a thing, but I made up like a 5 word rule because I've noticed if one of us says more than 5 words at a time to each other, there's tension and a disagreement.
Mm.
So any question that's necessary to answer, I always answer in under 5 words.
Does that work? It works.
More than saying what I think.
Yeah,
I'm not having opinion is bad in this situation, so I try not to have opinions. But
I
I
get that.
feel horrible because it just the person that hurts the most out of any of us is Rennie. So I'm very proud of how you're handling everything.
Thanks. And like I said, it was definitely a process to get to this point. So,
Yeah.
like, um, and we're like literally, there's a we're going through a kind of a situation right now. So our custody agreement is, she has primary custody. It is not 50-50. She has primary custody.
Wow.
Um, I have, excuse me. Um, like I said, I see the kids pretty much every day, but like I've dedicated dinner time with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I have them every other weekend, Friday through Sunday.
That's nice.
Yeah, um, but like there's still like negotiations that go on, and like so she's dating people, I'm dating people, and um, like I said, we've got like what's set in stone, but we've also been pretty flexible. Like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
you know, can you watch them this night because I got to do this thing or whatever. And so we're in a situation right now where it sounds ridiculous to say it, but um, she needs, like, the HVAC system in the house like needs repair, right?
Hmm.
And they can only come on Saturdays, which means it's either her Saturday or my Saturday. This upcoming Saturday is her Saturday, but she's taking the kids to like a camping thing.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, John needs somebody to be at the house. Can you do it? And if sure I could do it, but the person I'm dating has the opposite weekends with her kid,
Oh.
so we have not. had like weekend time really almost ever. But it just so
Oh,
happens that her ex has taken her daughter out of town for a week. So this upcoming weekend is like the first weekend that the two of our schedules are lined up.
ooh, brown
And
chicken, brown cow.
maybe I was
Adulting
like,
is
so
hard.
it was like, so are we like, so Helene was like, can you do the HVAC? Can you sit? I'm like, normally, maybe, probably, yeah, but like this particular weekend,
What if you already got
I don't,
plans? Yeah,
I don't want to give this weekend up. So we're in
yeah.
like negotiations. Um, and I was like,
But
okay,
it's
well, look,
cool that you can
just
even talk to each other.
yes.
I wish I had that. Like we go to doctor's appointments and don't even look at each other.
I can't say there was never hate. Like, I mean, obviously, like at some point, maybe not obviously, but at some point, there was like, we just could not stand each other. Like everything, because we are very alike in a lot of ways, but we're also very different in a lot of fundamental ways. And if we had, I am convinced that there are a lot, frankly, of alternate realities where we are going strong, where we are fine, where we're good, because ideally, like I said, we match up in a lot of ways, and the ways that we don't match up complement each other. At least they could complement each other. Um, if you trust the other person, like, okay, this is your expertise. I'm going to step back and let you handle it. This is my expertise. You need to step back and let me handle it. And when that happens, then you're this dynamic duo and everything's great. But when there isn't that trust, well, you're just doing it wrong because I would do it this way. I
Mm-hmm.
know you would do it that way, but like we're different, and like this way not only also works, but is better in this case. And so, like, what should have been, you know, two forces combining to create, like, marriage Voltron, instead we're like two lions just, tore at each other's
I guess
robotic
that's what
throats.
happens. It's great when you find someone where you complement each other totally, and whatever the other person's not so proficient in, the other person can make up for it. I love it when that happens, and it's
Yeah,
so weird that the same two people can have that, and then all of a sudden not have that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like you never know. You just never know. I mean, we
you
were
never know.
together for a long time. We were married for 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So like no one can say like we gave it we tried. We did
I think
try.
mine was 6, 7. I don't even
Still a
know.
lot.
Yeah,
Still a lot.
it was still real to me. Damn it.
Yeah. It's very real.
Um,
Like it's like
Speaking of alternate realities, like so many times I kick myself because every time, it's heartbreaking every time I don't see my daughter for 3 or 4 days.
yeah.
And I keep like kicking myself for bringing up information that I had, and I wish I had kept that information to myself
What do you
and
mean?
just lived
Oh,
uh,
gotcha.
in a loveless marriage and act like an idiot that I didn't know anything,
Yeah.
so I could have my daughter 7 days a week and see her whole life instead of losing half her life. But
Well, you know what?
I wasn't strong enough to do that. I don't think. I tried to fix it, but I couldn't.
I think the thing that people always forget, and not to sound like, you know, Pollyanna or whatever,
Mm.
but just like, you know, going in, you didn't know that you would get to where you were. Like
Yeah,
going into the marriage, you didn't know it was going to go the way it was going to go.
yeah.
You couldn't have seen it coming. You can't know that it'll always be like this either.
Yeah, that's true.
It might get to the point where you guys can be in the same room. It might be to the point because like you do both love Rennie, obviously, and so you never know. You never know. Her life's gonna keep going, and you know there might be um, that event or that graduation or that thing where it's just not so bad.
Yeah.
And maybe 10 years from now, you guys will be at a point where you can like enjoy more of her life together.
I hope so. One of Rennie's favorite memories is like I think her mom bumped into me and her shopping at the grocery store, and she just
Mm.
shopped with us for like a half hour. There was no tension or no anything,
Yeah,
and like that's one of her happy memories, and it makes me sad because I'm like, I wish things could have been different for her. I wish I could have been better for her. But then I talk to myself about just knowing about time travel and alternate realities and stuff. Like, what if we had stayed together and we were on a vacation and we got ran over by a tractor trailer? This might be our best timeline. Who knows?
that's true. It does weirdly bring me like some degree of comfort that like I I know that I I think I do believe in like the infinite timeline thing, the alternate reality thing.
Hmm.
Um, and so when I get too deep into my, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, what ifs, I was like, well, somewhere I did,
Yeah, I
and
like that.
that's that guy's journey. That's
Hmm.
not that's not my job. He's got that one covered. I'm doing this one,
I like
and
that.
yeah, I mean, like somewhere it happened, somewhere it's happening, and
It's
you've got your
heartbreaking.
responsibility is to do this one.
It's heartbreaking because I didn't lose my family. I lost my best friend. You know,
Yeah.
and at the same time, all at the same time. That's why it took me 13 years to recover, and it's only been 9.
Yeah.
Tell me about little Johnny Irons. What's your story? What's your origin story?
Oh, I was like, my son's name is Malcolm. Do your research.
No, I know
My
Malcolm. I
origin
still don't know
story.
why you named him Malcolm. It's not Malcolm in the Middle. It's not Malcolm from Star Trek Enterprise. It's not Vulcan for Serenity. It's not
Uh, little, little,
Malcolm Jamar Warner.
little bit of Malcolm X, a little bit of Malcolm Jamal Warner,
What?
a little bit of Malcolm X, a little
Okay.
bit of
Oh,
Malcolm
that
Jamal
makes
Warner.
sense. That makes sense.
So
Denzel.
you mix you get a
Malcolm Jamar Warner.
civil
He
rights
was good in
revolutionary with
what's that
a
show
Cosby kid,
with Luke Perry?
90210.
No, the one that with Malcolm Jamar Warner too. Jeremiah.
Oh, we're right.
Yep. He was great in
What was it
Jeremiah
called?
too. Jeremiah, I think. You ever
Yes,
watch that? It's got
I
no ending, but it's
did
great
watch
until
that.
then.
It's like they're
Yeah.
just walking around the apocalypse, like the
Yep.
desert wasteland.
Yep.
I did watch that show.
Yeah, it was great.
Um, it was a good show. Um,
A
oh,
little
my
bit of
origin
my
story.
yeah, your
Yeah.
origin story. Tell me how you started out and how you got to be who you are.
Wow.
You remember you
Uh,
mentioned Birmingham.
I
Is that where you
did.
started out?
Yeah, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I am one of 7 children. I got 3 brothers. I got 3 sisters.
Wow,
Um, yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah. I
it,
mean, yeah.
it's good because you always maybe have somebody there, and it's also good because you got so many siblings you don't need to send cards or gifts because it's just too many.
Well, I'm on the lower side, so I'm the next to youngest.
Okay,
So a lot of my siblings were like babysitters for me,
right. Much older than you.
and much older, and um, like outliving like their life while I was still growing as a baby, growing as a toddler.
Mhm.
So a lot of not a lot, but like some of them I didn't even really know as people until I was a teenager or a young adult.
Mhm.
because they were already there. You know, they were gone. They were doing college. They were doing their
Yep.
thing.
Same for me. I think the
Um,
youngest one was 18 when I was born. They're all
well,
adults. Yeah.
yeah. So, um, how to summarize? I'm gonna give you the fast forward. So, always had an interest in art. Also a nerd,
Love nerds.
like science.
They're my people.
I was not good at math. I was not good at
Mm.
math, but I was pretty good in school. Like, and because I was cordial and smart, I didn't realize I was a teacher's pet as much as I was. Like, I didn't like do anything to kiss up. But I also didn't make trouble, and I was like a good student. Um,
Did you know you were beautiful back then?
I don't know. I know it now, honestly.
That's become your name, the beautiful John Irons. You have to.
Yeah, not sure how that happened either.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact. So you gotta.
I had a friend who watched the Trexploration live that
Mhm.
I was on, and she was like, "I didn't know you had dimples." I'm like, "I've had." How did you not know? Like, it's not.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it.
I guess
Yeah, you just lucked out in the genetic pool there.
eh, pros and cons. Anyway, so um, yeah, I always had an interest in art, and decent student. Went to college, got my bachelor's in studio art, even though I
Oh.
knew um, that like gallery, like selling paintings, in a dream, like that would be awesome.
Mhm.
But realistically, I was like graphic design made more sense.
Mhm.
But at the time, the college that I went to did not have a graphic design program. I couldn't get a degree in graphic design. I could study it, but I couldn't get a degree in it. So I got a degree in studio art with an emphasis on drawing and a minor in English
Hmm.
with an emphasis on literature. Uh, in 2000, I moved to Atlanta with one of my brothers, the brother who's closest to me in age, my brother Anthony, who is an actor.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so he's an actor. I'm an artist. Let's go to Atlanta.
makes
Do you have a
sense.
place to live? Nah, we can stay with my cousin. Do you have a job? Nah, we'll figure it out. And it was it was great. It was very much you're young and dumb but hungry. Um and so you kind of just cast out and kind of make your
Mhm.
fortune. Um
When you got nothing to lose, you go for it.
exactly, you had nothing to lose. And
Yeah.
I had, my brother, man, is my partner in crime. So like if it had just been me on my own, I'm sure I never would have done it. But like together we kind of, we took the leap together. Um, we get to Atlanta. Um, he's doing some local theater. Um, I get a job at an art gallery, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, uh, oh,
I know a
sorry. I
lot
guess,
about art galleries.
yeah.
I edited the Art Biz podcast for years,
Oh, really?
and I learned so much about art galleries. I learned so much doing my job. That was for a lovely woman. I one of my clients I absolutely adored.
Um, I should rewind a little bit. Before we moved to Atlanta is when I worked with Sean Ray in Birmingham. That was like the late '90s, and after that kind of folded, just kind of
Mhm.
working or whatever. Like you said, nothing to lose. We're like, let's just go.
Yeah, I miss that age where like if you had a couch, a pizza, and a beer, life was good.
You're good.
Yeah, and now I'm like, if I don't do something in a year and a half, I'm not going to be okay. What do I do? What do I do?
And there's also like, you know, time and space kind of snowball. Like now I've got history of stuff. Now I've got debts of stuff. Now I've got, you
Yeah.
know, um,
Responsibility.
yeah, that word.
Uh,
Uh,
you have other life forms depending on you for their existence. No
yeah,
pressure there, right?
other life forms. Yeah, like, and I've, well, anyway. All right. So
In
in Atlanta,
Atlanta,
uh,
a beautiful city. The people are so kind.
Atlanta
I
is like
loved it.
Atlanta was the first time I felt like this is me. This fits me. Um, and really for a long time, even after that. So like I moved around a lot. Like we went to Atlanta. Um, I stayed there. Um, Anthony moved to Chicago. But at that point, I'm working at the art gallery. I'm doing pretty good. And the art gallery isn't just an art gallery. The art gallery does auctions, so charity auctions. So like say you're uh like you need like a school fundraiser, right? So you send someone to the art gallery, we like this, this will sell, that'll sell, this will sell, this will sell. Put it in a truck, load it up, that's my job. Um, Drive it to the place, that's my job. Set it up in a beautiful display in your school cafeteria, and we have an art auction. And I was not the auctioneer. I was like the auctioneer's
You hold it up and
comedic
go like
assistant.
this.
Yes, that
Yep.
was me. Every now and then I give him the one liner, the fun face in the crowd. We do the art auction, art gallery, and fundraiser team split the proceeds.
You were like a
Right.
Price is Right girl.
I was like a Price is Right girl. That's right. But more verbal. Occasionally more verbal. Um, so and I learned that was I've always been kind of handy. I became much more handy doing that because the guy who was like my supervisor, Mark, was like super fix it guy, like electrician, building all sorts of shit. Like I learned a lot under him.
Mm.
So it is during this time, man, it's so weird to recap. So Anthony moves to Chicago. I'm in Atlanta. I've got my own place at this point.
Nice.
I actually bought a condo.
Whoa.
Yeah, right.
You're doing good at the art gallery.
I was doing really good because
Man,
I didn't spend much.
that's cool.
I didn't have bad credit because like
Mhm.
everything had been fine.
Yeah.
So it's during this time, uh, I had just broken up. I had a girlfriend there. I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and Halima, who was in New York at the time, had broken up with her boyfriend, and we kind of start flirting back and forth. Still friends at this point. It's like, you know what? We never actually tried dating. We should just try dating. La di da. There you go. So
That's a great decision, though. You got your kids.
yeah. So I mean, it was again very sitcom. Well, you know what? If neither of us have anybody by the time
Yep.
we're blah blah blah, we should get together.
I had a deal like that.
Was that that work?
That's the one that is a bestie now.
Yes.
Yes.
I had a
Unfortunately, she
feeling.
met someone, and I was not yet in a place where I could be the one. I wanted to be the one, but I don't know if I'll ever be ready again.
Maybe you'll be someone's the one.
That's what people say, and I'm looking for canes and walkers, and I'm dyeing my hair. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But thanks.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Again, that's like you never know.
What did I sell somebody?
I never thought Halim and I would get together. I never thought Halim and I would get divorced. Like
It seemed to work though
you never know.
for a while.
It did. So we start dating and get engaged pretty quickly. And our point was, okay, but we've known each other for what, 15 years or whatever. How long ever?
Tell me about the engagement. I always see those videos and I start crying. I still like engagements, even though I'm like, don't
Tell you
get
about the
married.
engagement. I mean, I don't know that I have any good stories from the engagement. Oh, okay. I've got a couple.
Where'd you do it? How'd you do it? How many backup dancers?
Oh, like the proposal, you mean?
Yeah.
I proposed twice. First time jokingly, while we were like messaging each other. I was like, you and I should just get married. Ha 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 ha. Where's my ring? Ha ha ha. And then I proposed in real life, like in person, probably a few months later, because we were at my family's place for Thanksgiving. So my family was there. And
in Alabama?
In Alabama.
Okay.
And and she's also from Alabama. We went to school together.
That's
I mean,
nice.
she's not from Alabama, but
The area.
she grew up in like not originally, but she spent a lot of formative years in Alabama, and a lot of family's still there. Her parents are there.
Still felt like home to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had that shared experience.
Yeah. I had my friend who worked with me at the art gallery, who was a sculptor, make a ring. Like he made our rings.
Wow.
Excuse me. Yeah. Turned out later she hated that ring.
Ah. That's
yeah.
romantic though.
I thought so.
You didn't just pick it out from a
I think she
catalog.
would acknowledge. I think she would acknowledge that it was romantic. But she's like, okay, but you didn't ask me what I wanted. Which is a fair point. Which is a fair point. Because, I know her so well. She's going to love this.
I don't think we're supposed to, though, are we? It's so confusing.
You are.
Really?
You're supposed to ask her.
Theoretically?
Ideally, you're supposed to ask her without her knowing that you're asking. Like, you're supposed to bring it up in conversation and take notes.
Because that's what guys are talking about, engagement rings, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just, I think, so my brother-in-law was very smooth with the way he did his. So how did he do it? It's like he was looking like for a ring for himself. Not like an engagement, but just like a ring for himself. But he I'm probably messing the story up, but basically he was like, they were out together and he was like, man, your hands are like really small. It's like, look, this ring fits on my finger, like my pinky finger. So basically he was like sizing the ring based on which of his fingers matched her fingers, so that he would know what size worked for her.
You're smart though, man. She probably knew.
Yeah. They're doing great, by the way.
Her chance to run.
2 kids, they're doing great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Halim and I get engaged. We get married.
Wow.
Destination wedding.
Where?
Bahamas. We got married in the Bahamas. Yes. And the other romantic thing I did, I planned the honeymoon and she did not know where we were going.
Ooh.
Like literally until we were at the airport.
And did it work? Did she like it?
I think, yeah. Costa Rica.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, went to Costa Rica. Again, young, dual income, no kids.
Yeah,
you can splurge on.
You can do that kind of stuff.
You can do that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, again, alternate timeline. If I had it to do over again, when we got back, I had a condo. I owned property in Atlanta. I mean, owned. I'm paying rent, but I had a condo in Atlanta.
Yeah.
She was in an apartment with a roommate in New York. She was. She should have moved with me. She should have come to Atlanta because she's a writer. And Atlanta, and she's a journalist. And Atlanta, I mean, home base is CNN. Like, She should have come with me, but I moved to New York. Um, New York was not a good fit for me, at least not at the time. I don't I don't think I would like it any better necessarily now, but I think I would have dealt with it better.
Mm.
Um, New York is a little faster pace than I want personally. I'm a very mellow kind of dude.
Me
And there,
too. I had to move out of the way all the time. Everybody was zooming past me the whole
yeah,
time.
you can't be that mellow in New York. Like everybody
No.
is on their grind. Everybody is hustling 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not, that does not sit well with my spirit.
I'm
Atlanta is
used.
like a busy city, but
Yeah,
there's
but
also
people are
places
still chill.
you can chill.
Yeah.
And I'm in I'm in Silver Spring, which is a suburb of Washington D.C. And D.C. is like that. It's got that same kind of vibe. It's a major city, but you can chill. Like D.C. is like the second city where I felt like it's a really good fit. But during our adventures together, Halim and I, we lived in New York, basically kind of moving to where the jobs were.
Okay.
So we were in New York, and then in Memphis,
Oh, nice.
Tennessee.
Ronnie did a billboard in Memphis.
Memphis was fun. Memphis was a cool city.
Very nice.
We both gained weight in Memphis because
Yeah, they got good food, man.
Everything's deep fried in Memphis. But she's, like I said, she's a journalist, political journalist. So we're like, okay, well, the end goal is, and I'm at this point, I have, I'm in New York. I'm just kind of taking whatever job. I did faux finishing, which is like you
Nice.
paint.
Yeah, like wood or something.
Yeah, you paint
marble.
Well, it was at a lighting company. So I did faux finishing to make like the glass and the plastic look like marble or look like whatever. Did
you do the green with the white streaks? I've seen that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yep. Did the green? Did the gray? Did the yellow? Faux finishing, man. So anyway,
you got a college degree. I mean, you could do anything.
Yeah, I'm doing these kind of jobs or whatever. She gets a job in Memphis at a paper, so we moved to Memphis. And while in Memphis, I get a job at the same paper, in the advertising department, doing graphic design. And so while I had graphic design jobs before, this was kind of like the start of like kind of my career. Like the first like solid foothold. So she knows she wants to be a journalist, and which means a political journalist to ultimately live in Washington, D.C. So we both start applying for jobs in D.C. I get a job first, at Congressional Quarterly, which is a political.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, political newspaper magazine, and my job was at CQ Today. So I did the photos and like charts and graphs for their daily publication. There's a cool story too. Like I like communication back and forth online. I took a sick day, flew up for the day, interviewed, met a whole bunch of people, flew back, and like went back to work the next day. So I got my job first, and she got a job like 3 months later. So I was up here by myself for like 3 months, which was fine. Not ideal, but it was fine. We spoke pretty much every day. She gets a job, I want to say it was McClatchy, I believe, which is a news organization. She comes up. We're in DC. That was I got here in 2007. So yeah, so I've been here for almost 10 years at this point.
Wow.
No,
Does
almost
it feel like
good
home
Lord.
now?
Almost 20
7?
years. Almost
Yeah,
20
almost.
years.
Wow.
Time. Yeah.
So
this is the longest I've been.
Wow.
In a city. I mean, we've moved a little bit, like, since we've been up here. Obviously, I moved one more time than she did. Haha. um, but yeah. So like this is, and that was I've had this like discussion too. Like, at what point do you say that you're from a place?
Yeah.
Because like when people ask me now, I say I don't even say I'm from Silver Spring because nobody knows what Silver Spring is unless you've been here. I say I'm from DC.
Yeah.
How long do you have to have been in a place to claim that place?
Say you're from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you
I'm originally from New Jersey,
Mhm.
Farmingdale, Monmouth County, but I've been here since I was 9, which is Southwest Florida, Cape Coral. But I still have the New Jersey accent if I don't try to not have it, which is frustrating.
Really?
Heck, yeah. And it was funny when Rennie and I traveled to New Jersey. She said your New Jersey accent came out.
It comes out. Like I don't think I have a Southern accent. Like there's like you can kind of tell if I say certain words, I guess. And a lot of people say their accent comes out when they get mad, and I don't get mad a lot, but
you don't seem the type.
But when I'm back down there, and this is kind of me anyway. I'm kind of chameleon like with the way that I speak. Like if I'm around a lot of people and they're all talking fast, I'm talking fast too. Like that's just I'm fitting in with the vibe. I'm a very reflective, empathetic kind of like I whatever the vibe is, I tend to go with the vibe, and so I don't have a very Southern accent. Even when I'm down there, I don't know if I sound very Southern, but it definitely comes out a lot if I'm around.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to talk to you next time you're down there. Yeah, I've never heard any Southern in your voice.
Yeah. And it's surprising to me that you say that it comes out, because like after how you've been podcasting for what?
Oh my goodness, since
20?
Yeah. Since it started, since I first heard the word, I think. My first podcast experience was called the Succubus Club. It was 2 ladies.
That's so hot.
There were 2 ladies talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer as it was airing, so it was back then. And they had a college radio station talk show about Buffy. I think it was in California or something, but they recorded the show and put the MP3s on a website. So that was like the first things of podcasting that got I was like, I could do MP3s on a website. I could do that. Yeah. I still like that.
It's so funny.
When was Buffy? I don't know. It was a while ago.
Buffy was late 90s into early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. That's when I started.
Yeah. I think the last season or 2, like I think it was 2000, 2001.
I wish I would have started as a YouTuber and not as a podcaster, because as a podcaster, you spend money. If I started on YouTube back then, I'd be a millionaire right now.
Yeah. I've still got like, I'm also middle-aged. I think I'm actually older than you.
I found out from Stacy a couple days ago that you were older than me. Yeah. I did the mind blown emoji because I figured you're mid to late 30s.
No.
You know? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you got the beauty filter on, but whatever you're doing is working. Maybe I need to moisturize more. I don't know.
Well, you know what? Shaving the head helps, because shaved head means you don't see the grays. It means you don't see like there's no bald spot. I had locks. Oh, you know what? There's a fun fact.
Really?
I had dreadlocks for
nice. I want to see that.
10 years.
Send me a pic. I'll put it right there.
I'll send you a pic.
I couldn't picture you with hair. I really couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I looked great.
Yeah,
and that was another reason that Atlanta felt so right to me, because I knew, when I was in Birmingham, I was like, I knew I wanted to have locks. I had my head shaved for like even when like in high school. I'd had a fade and then I had it shaved because it was the 90s. It was fine. Forget it. Dude shaved.
I had a high top fade in the 90s.
Did you really?
Yeah, like Kid and Play.
Nice. Yeah. If we ever meet in person, we'll do the kick. We'll do the
exactly.
But like, I knew I wanted to have locks, so I started growing my hair, and I got them in Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah. So there was a whole lot of I am discovering the me I need to be or want to be in Atlanta. So like, and me having locks was part of that too. But yeah, like, but the reason that I ultimately got rid of them is because family, like, you get the ball spot, you get the irons ball spot, like the male pattern ball just right in the back.
Yeah, I can't see mine, so we're good.
But see, I couldn't see
Other
it either.
people see it.
I didn't know how bad it was.
I don't know if I have.
And Halima,
I'm gonna do this.
that's actually not bad.
Huh?
It's not that bad.
It's there somewhere.
Not that bad. It's there. You'll see it. You'll see it. It's not that bad.
Oh no! I'll put a big
really not that bad.
blur over it.
Pixelated, like it's porn.
Yep, exactly.
But I didn't know. Like I always told Halima, like I'm not gonna be one of those guys who has like, you know, locks to his shoulders, but a big
bald spot
in the back. I'm like, you'll let me know, right? You'll let me know, right?
R-Truth. You know R-Truth from wrestling?
Oh
yeah, he like his receding hairline is like back here now, but he's still got his dreads.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
No,
he's funny. He just got released. I don't follow it much, but I just know the characters.
I'm not going to be that guy. So we were, again, like she and I were doing a vacation thing. We went to wine country, California. Was it Napa Valley? Napa Valley, right? That's what it was. Napa. And I don't really drink, so this is definitely for her. But it was whatever, like fine, cool, fun adventure. And you know, I was like setting up the camera, like we're gonna pose in front of some sign or something. And I set up the camera and I walk back to the camera and we pose, we take the picture. And so when I see that footage of me walking away and the sunlight shining, you know, blinding the camera of my, like, I'm like, you said it wasn't that bad. So I let it go for another, and so we like you can kind of do some stuff,
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
But I'm also not gonna be like the guy who's like, you know, using his his dreadlock comb over.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's done well enough.
But so Zara was born before I got rid of the locks because she remembers playing with the locks. I've got some photos of it. It's really cute.
I didn't know until the Walmart security camera. I was like, that guy is doing the same thing as me, but he's back. Oh man.
See, they don't tell you. I'm like, I genuinely felt betrayed.
Yeah.
She's like, because I really like the locks. I'm like, oh, but you promised. I wrote a Dear John letter to my locks when I cut them off.
Yeah.
I'll send you that too. You can post that.
Okay.
I forget. Oh, right. So got off on a tangent on a I'm older than I look tangent.
Yeah. But like I was surprised. I had no idea.
So, you know, you get to middle age, and you're like, okay, what have I not done? Especially, you know, also divorcing.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, you reflect back, okay, like
it's a difficult time in a person's life. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I found a hobby. That's cool. And I enjoy it. That's great. I got these kids. They're awesome. What do I want? Like, what's still on my list? Like, there's still a lot of stuff. Like, I'm a creative person, but I'm not a motivated person per se. So like, I'll have all these great ideas. Like I designed a board game.
Oh wow.
You know, I do like t-shirt, like I have like a bunch of t-shirt designs. I co-wrote a script. I read your thing, by the way. It's very good.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Wow. You got Christopher beat. He'll come back from Europe and say, sorry, I didn't have time.
Is he in Europe now? He's in Europe now.
He leaves tomorrow.
Yeah.
You actually read it.
Yes, I didn't read all of it. I didn't read all of it. I got to the point where I got about maybe half or 3/4 through, where where they're hiding from people on the train. Like
Okay.
they're running. They're avoiding the heavies.
Yes.
Um,
Interesting.
um,
Thank you for doing that. It
yeah.
reminded me of something funny that happened yesterday. We were hanging out with Damon at Epcot, and
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I just assumed that everybody is. It doesn't occur to me that you guys actually hang out in real life. Like this is the
Second
only way
time
I ever
only.
see any of you.
Second time
Okay.
only.
Okay.
We had to make it happen because he lives like 45 minutes from one direction to Disney, and I live 2.5 hours to Disney. So, kind of coordinate. And the second time we did it because it was such fun the first time. But Rennie said to him, because they were talking about, in the interview, promote the movie that I just released and stuff. Rennie's telling Damon, and Rennie said to Damon, she said, "Did you watch it yet?" He's like, "Well, I started it." She said, "You started it? It's 5 minutes long."
That I did watch. I did watch that movie.
You watch Rennie's movie? Cool.
Yes, I did.
I like that. I enjoyed it. It was so.
It was yes.
We're making a
like,
Blu-ray with a commentary and everything.
Oh, good. I need the commentary because I feel dumb.
It's basically going to be introductions and then it'll be over. But that'll be funny. Yeah. What were we talking about?
Like the stuff that like.
Oh, you're creative. I would disagree with you that you actually made something.
I did a thing. I
You
coded
accomplished
a thing.
it. You accomplished it.
Yes.
This is not easy to do. This is a milestone I wish I could do. You did it.
Thank you. It was.
Tell me the long version, because I'm sure you've told everybody the short version when you're doing your publicity tour right now. But like, tell me how you felt and everything, like in detail, because I want to know what's it like to be a published author. Most of my friends are published authors, which makes me just feel worse about myself, but happy for you.
I cannot overstate that this was the brainchild of Jared Stern, my friend
of Between Two Sterns fame.
Of Between Two Sterns fame.
Yes.
This was his idea. This was his baby. I think I may have inspired it to some degree, because on Captain Game Show, one of the improv games I make them play is to come up with a haiku on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of got him thinking in a haiku mindset. And he told me that he's like, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing this book. I'm thinking I might do this book." And I'm like, "Cool." Because like people say shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a book for how many years now? Right?
Yeah, people say shit all the time. I was like, "That's great," and I like, that'll be awesome. It's like, I'd like to know what you think. Like, yeah, great, yeah, absolutely. When you're ready to do a thing, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is maybe like late last year, or yeah, it's probably like fall of last year when he kind of first said that he had the idea because your mama jokes, your mama so blank, and if you got a 1-syllable adjective, then that's 5 5 syllables of haiku. It's a good way to start a haiku. So he told me that idea. I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And so in February, he's like, "Okay, John, I started writing some." I feel like I told the story on True Exploration.
But this is a different channel.
All right.
Link down below to that other conversation, though.
Link down to the other conversation.
Yep.
But skip this part because it's the same story.
But it's better the second time.
Yeah.
Link down below for this as well. What's the title for the audio listeners?
All right, yeah. So the name of the book is 1700 Esoteric Syllables About Your Mama. It is available on Amazon in paperback on Kindle.
I recommend the paperback, but if you do Kindle, it's there.
Well, I recommend the paperback as well. So look, open up yours.
Sounds good.
So there was a printing issue for those of you watching it. Oh, you got the good one.
Yep.
You got the good one. Okay, great.
I got the good one.
All right. So I also got the good one. I was ready to compare and contrast.
Yep. I got the one with the centerfold. Hello.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama. Yo, mama's so fine. Is there any of those
That'll be
there?
part 2.
Maybe for part 2.
Part
Your
2 will be
mama's so smart. Your mama's so smart
all positive affirmations.
that she uses the Doppler effect to what?
Say I love you.
Aww.
The Doppler.
I'm acting like I can count in my head.
Doppler
Effect
to
Two.
say I love you. Boom!
Boom! Nailed it.
See?
It's like you've done it
See how easy this
100
was?
times.
Yeah. So Jared Stern comes to me and he's like, "Hey, I've started writing some. Tell me what you think." And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm a very supportive friend.
You are. Anytime I ask you for anything, you're right there. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, like creative, especially like for creative something. Like I'm never want to like dull someone's passion or someone's fire. So if you got a creative idea, if I can help, happy to help.
Same.
So he's like, how to do it. So initially he was like, he was thinking very categorically. It's like I'm gonna do 50. I'm gonna do 50 haiku. He was thinking 50. Let's have a 1700. 350.
1600, 800.
Whatever.
Carry the one. What is N?
No, it's like 850.
Yeah, because 1600.
850.
Yeah.
So first.
Yeah.
So initially it was 850 esoteric syllables about your mama, because he was just going to do 50. And he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna like let's see. There's fat and there's dumb and there's whatever drunk." So he had like
Is there things you had to stay away from?
Yes.
Yes, because they used to be much more different when we were younger.
This is one of my suggestions. So he's like, "Okay, I've got these types, and I'll write 10 for each."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Okay, all right, maybe instead of fat, we say big."
Yeah,
because it's less, and maybe
derogatory.
Instead of poor, we say broke, because that's temporary. Like,
I like that. I like that.
I don't ever want to like.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so so that was like some of my suggestions, and also kind of like broadened the we don't have to have like, they don't all have to be kind of like this. So I brought in some more words, but I wasn't really co-writing at that point in my mind. I was like consulting. I was like, "Oh, okay, well that's good."
Like a sounding board, suggestions.
I was like, maybe change this word to that, or, "Oh, hey, I thought of one," but I'm not like in it, right? So Jared Stern of the podcast Between Two Sterns was on his Between Two Sterns podcast with the other Jared Stern, talking about Jared Stern himself.
As they do, yeah.
As they do. And about the book, and he's like, "Yeah, so I'm co-writing a book with John Irons." I was like, "Oh, are we co-writing a book?" Well, okay, cool. If I'm co-writing the book, then I have more to say. So then I was less. I mean, not like I was ever like, but I was more kind of full throated, and okay, well, if my name's going on this, like, and I'm in. I think it's a great idea. Let's do it. But that they're like, if we're doing this together, I would change this. Let's do that. And he's like, I was like, "So what's kind of your timeline on this?" I was like, "Well, I want to have the 50 done by the end of the month." And I think at that point it was, like I said, I think it was still February. Maybe it was March. No, I think it was February.
Of what year?
This year.
Okay, nice.
This was months ago.
Wow.
So, I commute to work. I take the train to work. So
Right.
like I'm like, "Oh, it's like, how about this one? How about this one? How about this one?" And that is the thing with me. Like I once I get on, like, it is one of my, I think, best and worst quality. No, it's just one of my best. It's just awesome. When you're in the zone, when I'm doing something
Yeah.
creative, if I'm like, I am not, I would say not detail oriented. That's not true. I am not nitpicky. I'm not a stickler for things. I am very, it's fine. We can make it work. I'm very go with the flow, except like if I'm doing something creative, I am very minute down to the last detail. Like I will like game recognized game as an editor, I will like this. There needs to be a third of a second more silence for this to sound right.
Yep.
That is how I edit.
Yeah.
So like I know you know what I'm talking about. And I'm so like, and I get to flex my writing muscles, which I don't get to do a lot. So yeah, so I'm cranking out the haiku, and I love haiku anyway. So I'm cranking out the haiku. He's cranking out the haiku, and he was like, "Cool, we hit 50." I was like, "Okay, yes, we hit 50, but you said you're gonna go to the end of the month. It's the middle of the month right now. Let's keep going. Let's just keep going, and let's hit 100. Who knows? Let's see. We'll hit 100." So we keep going, and we get to 100. We get to like 112, and there's still like a few more. It's like I got a week left in the month. I was like, we can just keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Like, John, we're stopping now. We're gonna stop at 100. We're gonna stop at 100, and we'll get the best of the best, and we'll,
How many did you throw out to get?
Not a lot. I think we maybe 12 or 15, and some of the ones that didn't make the cut, we kind of brought back in, like those replaced others that because you kind of keep working it, keep working it until it gets better. Yeah, there were some that we're still kind of revising, like even as I'm sending him drafts. So he didn't know that I was a graphic designer, and so it's I love it when this happens. Like I love when people find out how awesome. No, I love it when the idea pushes the desire. Because like his idea was, I'm going to do 50. I have this idea for haiku your mama jokes. And we'll do 50. We'll do 50 and we'll, and I'll put it out as a book. But the idea is good. And so it generated more than 50. It made 100. And it made more than 100, but we narrowed it, 100 is a good, nice round number. And initially, all right, cool. Like we'll do, we'll do the pages, and maybe I'll have like we'll do an illustration like at the start of each section for each one, for 5 or 6 images. I'm like, that's cool. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yes, I was thinking the same thing. Perfect, awesome. But then I started doing it, and I was like, "This, like, you know what? Let me just when the idea is strong, when the joke is solid, when the concept is worthy, the work makes itself happen. Like so he didn't know that I was a graphic designer. So I ended up I designed like, you can't, like, if you look on the cover of your book, all these little semicircle, these little fractional semicircle deals that are very subtle, those are all individual.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I did all this in InDesign. I did all this in InDesign. So I created, I looked at other stuff, obviously, but like everything is.
I like the piggy.
Thank you. And like Piggy, perfect example. So what page is that? It's like
5.
5. Okay.
Everyone, get out your books. Pause now.
So,
Order it. Get it delivered the next day.
pause now.
Pull out your books.
So,
Could you read that one?
yes. Your mama so mean. She smashed your piggy bank because it wasn't kosher. So that originally was the original version of that was something was like, your mama's so mean. She broke your piggy bank and said the tooth fairy did it, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or your mama's so shady, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay. She's like, by your own standard of the kind of the rule was, it's funnier if it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And it doesn't actually make fun of an actual person. But like, a messed up mom stealing her kid's money is a thing that actually happens, or could happen, and I'm sure it does happen.
Yeah.
And so like, we didn't like, nah, so let's make it less. I'm blaming the tooth fairy. But like, in terms of like the extreme, like still revising. So interesting that you picked this, because the I.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Right. So there was like just a little line.
Wow. Now I'm so sad for the pig.
The eye went from just like a line with a teardrop to, it's actually, you know what, let me just actually make that a little shape. No one, so like at my job, I call this changes only John can see.
Right.
Changes only John. I'm like, it's better. Trust me, it's better.
Probably other graphic designers can see it. Like
graphic designers.
Like when I listen to a podcast, I'm sure it happens to you, and there's not that right amount of 3 seconds of silence or pause. You're just like, cut. This is bad. Cut, and you can't enjoy it.
Or like they get somebody, like clearly they've cut something, and they've got them mid inhalation before they speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, get the whole thing, or cut the whole thing out.
Oh,
like,
there's nothing worse than half a breath.
Nobody
takes half a breath.
Nobody takes a half a breath. Either take it out or leave it all.
All of it. Every single, but it's right to the microsecond there.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this is volume 1, right?
We'll see. Probably. Possibly. I won't say probably. I'll say possibly. Let's say we'll see.
Talk me through the process. So say I was to finish my book, the one you started. Say I was to finish it. What does it take to go from that document to this?
In our case, so we kind of divided a lot of the duty. So like, I did all of the
duty.
Yeah. We cut it right in half. It is fun fact, I am always on a life's quest to make people do spit takes. So
I have not it's been a while.
It's right. It is a rare joy to legitimately get.
Maybe I've trained myself to not laugh while I had stuff in my mouth. Although I have like almost blacked out laughing with Rennie so hard we made each other laugh.
And I honestly would have felt bad if you had done spit take, because you're all of your nice equipment.
Oh yeah,
like, that would have been bad.
I could get the fog machine going.
So I took care of like all of the design aspect, and like the Japanese translation.
Was that like Google Translate or something?
I did Google Translate initially,
and
I was like, "Oh, this will be cool." And again, like kind of final stages of the book, I'm like, let me just run this by, some people that I know. Shout out to Jen Rubio, for who speaks Japanese. I'm like, can you kind of just look this over and tell me if this works? And she's like, this does not work. She's like, it's not like it's like offensive, but it's just like not correct. Like, that's not the word that you would use in this context. Right. And I didn't, because I'm like, okay, what's the word for, old? And I look up, okay, like, there's 8 different words for old. Okay, well, this probably means like close to what I think it means. No, like most of them were like just incorrect. And because it's also a joke, so there's layers of context that I wasn't considering, because like, you know, you're using this word as a double meaning, or this doesn't mean the same thing here. So she said, like, that's not really great. Oh, okay, cool. Can you suggest some alternatives? It's like, well, I'm not a native speaker, and I don't I don't consider myself like fluent. You should find someone who is fluent. So reached out to another friend who recently moved to Japan. I knew she was studying Japanese. I was like, hey, told the situation, would you mind? And she said, I could, but let me get you in touch with my teacher, the woman who taught me, one of my teachers, one of my Japanese teachers. So, you know, it takes a village. Like, it was so so that's why the dedication at the back of the book is to friends and friends of friends who helped with the Japanese translation. But anyway, again, off on another tangent.
If only you needed like Star Trek translation. Maybe the next one.
Oh, you know what? Maybe do the
Yo Mama So Klingon. That special thanks to Albie.
Yep, yeah. Your Mama So Vulcan. That's actually
Your Mama So Logical.
See,
there's an idea. Me and John Irons are writing a book.
Damn it, Albie.
1700 Star Trek haikus. Yo Mama jokes.
That is exactly the kind of way this thing. Yeah.
Yep.
That'll actually probably Star Trek Yo Mama jokes.
Me and John Irons are writing a mystery. It starts off on a train, and it's in black and white.
Now I got the feeling.
I wrote the beginning and the end, and then he's writing the middle part.
Division of labor. So while I'm doing all the Japanese stuff and the design stuff, he is doing a lot of the administrative stuff. And also, he, like, anytime that something needs to get paid for, that's him. That's him too. So so basically, I'm labor and he's funding, and we're both writing.
You need both. You need both.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen alone.
Exactly. Unless you're Batman. So
I'm Batman.
I'm not Batman. So he bought the barcode. He bought the ISBN code for the paperback.
I had no idea that was a thing. Is that like a web address kind of thing? You got to buy it?
It's a thing. So yes, you can go to a site. So this code, so Amazon will provide it. If you want to publish through Amazon, Amazon will just give you one. But that means that you're limited to only sell your paperback on Amazon, right? So the Kindle version, the digital version, we use the free one from Amazon, and it's available on Kindle. If you already have Kindle, the book is free, like with a subscription, I believe.
There you go. Check it out.
If you do not have a subscription, it's $5.75. Paperback $17.
Yeah.
There
you go.
So in this case, because there's illustrations, that was a lot of back and forth so you have to go to their site. I mean, it's not a difficult process. Like, it's kind of streamlined. They make it kind of easy for the most part. It's tougher because there's not just illustrations, but illustrations like basically every page.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to fit it within the margins that they need. You have to choose a size of book that works for you. Because initially, I designed this whole book. It was going to be more squarish. It was going to be like 5x6, basically. So the entire design was 5x6. And that ended up, I redesigned it because it would have cost more, because that turns out is a unique size.
Oh, yeah. What is this? 4x6? Like
I don't know.
The standard paperback. This is my favorite size of book. If I can order a version in this size, I always do.
That's good. Because I was initially imagining it to be like one of the little books that's like on the rack at like the CVS, or, you know, like you're standing in line, you're waiting for candies, like, you know, like Bible verses or like inspirational thoughts, That's what I thought this was going to be. Like, oh, this looks fun. Little joke books.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well, with 50 of them, I was thinking like a little joke book, but
yeah,
1700. Oh my goodness, syllables.
1700 syllables, 100 haiku.
Yeah.
Technically 102,
Okay.
because the title itself is a haiku, and there's actually technically 103.
Actually.
Actually,
Ah.
the cover is a haiku. There's a haiku on the back, and the forward is a haiku. So technically, you get some bonus haiku for your money. So
And the
like
barcode
sitting
is
at
the haiku.
the
That would be amazing.
there are some Easter eggs.
Oh,
There
now
are
I got to
there
go
are
searching.
there are a few Easter eggs in the book. They're not extra haiku, but there are references
Okay.
to haiku
I
or
put
the book
references everywhere.
itself or
Nice.
the number 100. Very subtle, very subtle
Okay.
reference to the number 100. So yeah, so you go through the process and you proof it. And in my case, I didn't keep it, but the first batch it was misprinted. There was a misprint. Even though I checked it and I proofed it and it looked fine on the site, initially they had the illustration and they had the haiku and they had this with the little red around it, but it didn't have the border around each haiku, which is around every haiku. And it was like, and Jared was like, okay, well, it got the important stuff. It got the illustration. It got and that's
exactly.
true. And I was kind of like, fine, I guess. But like the more I thought about it, I'm like I said, like if there's one thing, if I didn't have my name on it as the layout designer, and it didn't look bad. It didn't look bad, but it didn't look as good as I made it.
And with all that work.
As good as it should have. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that weird that you were like in a real life situation of like Elf where you had to decide whether or not to ship the books when people wouldn't know how the penguins worked out or something?
I did not make that connection. But yes.
I'm glad you went for quality.
Well, and it's like,
do they print out a batch at a time or is it like on demand?
Well,
how does that work?
It's on demand.
Oh, okay. How do they do that? Is some kind of like laser printer and they just know how to do it and fold it and cut it? I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, that's why it's like standardized. So like I ended up choosing like I will take this size of book. And again, because I can't speak to if someone just writes a book that's all text.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's a slightly different process because I basically had to put mine as a children's book. Like the category was children's book because there's so many illustrations. But if you just have text, it's probably, I'm thinking, an easier process. You just have to separate out the chapters or whatever, and like because then it doesn't matter so much if it's on if it starts on one page or ends on another page. But mine have to,
because it's just text,
line up. Yeah, mine have to line up the way that they line up.
Oh wow! So that's somebody has to do extra work there.
Yeah. So I had to create it I had to do it as a PDF and a special kind of PDF because, like I said, like the border didn't go through, and when I was like, okay, well, it's showing up on the preview, why didn't it print? I said InDesign. It's a software thing. InDesign changed its program, and as a result, even though it appears fine on the preview, our system didn't register it. It shows on 2 different layers. Wow. So I had to go back through and save it a different way to compress the layers. And that was the whole thing. So the book had actually been out for, I don't know, a few days before I even knew that there was a problem. And so at that point, I'm telling all my friends, get the book.
Yeah. It's good I was not proactive and I was like, I'll get to it.
I appreciate that. It worked out.
Yeah.
So and I can't, it's not like I'm staying up late working on this. Like I'm doing other stuff. But eventually, maybe a week after we kind of I first contact Amazon about the problem, get the problem fixed. And I need to, and then at that point I wait another, and Amazon says, okay, it should be good to go now. That's when I order my copy of the book, and see that it's actually correct. Fine, everybody, we're good to go. I'm sorry if you already ordered some. You can call this number, use this link, and you can get the book replaced for free, obviously, because it was a mistake on their part. They'll replace your book. But also, if you haven't gotten a book, now you can get your book,
and that's when I got my book.
That's when you got your book. See, you were just prudent. Yeah, you didn't know it. You felt like the vibe was off. You didn't.
Yeah, when it came, it made me happy because I love this format. Like when I buy a lot of the classics, the public domain books, and there's people that do these in public domain, and I just make sure it's this format because I can just sit and read all night in these. So I love it. Good taste.
So did you read? Have you read all?
I'm randomly flipping through them on different podcasts. So like when I did Damon's podcast, I decided to go on a mini book tour for you, like as an homage.
Appreciate that.
And I read a few haikus. I let them pick random numbers. See, it's not fair for you to pick a random number now, so I would have to pick a random number because you know what they are probably. I'm going to say.
I don't have them memorized. No, I don't.
Oh, I got to do it. What is 69? Page 69.
Should see that one coming.
Well, we already did the 42 and the 47 and the.
Yeah, if you do go to follow the link to Trexploration, I think I just rolled a dice and I rolled a 100-sided dice. On
yeah. And, how do you do that?
Shows based on that.
Goodness.
All right. The website D&D Beyond.
I was trying to picture it in my head.
Oh, a 100-sided die.
A physical model of a 100-sided die.
I think almost the way they do it. I think they have two. So like there's one that's like the tens, and there's one that's like the.
That makes sense.
Okay. So, number 69 is in the Your Mama So Strict section.
Ooh.
Your mama's so strict, she's the reason that you're so good at escape rooms. I want to say, I feel like this is funny. I feel like I might have rolled 69 on your show. Ayo. But like I think I remember reading that on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's a book I want to sit and read cover to cover. I just want to flip through when I need one, when I feel like a laugh.
That didn't even occur to me.
But it's more of a reference book, right?
Just stock up when you need it, like a chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken soup for the soul.
Oh, I edited a bunch of that guy's podcast too.
I like. So when I first.
What is that illustration? I don't have my glasses on.
Do you? Oh, that is a skunk.
Oh,
that is a rear view. That is a rear view of a skunk.
Okay, let me put my glasses on.
That's the business end of a skunk.
I see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
This is number 56. Yo mama so drunk. Your mama so drunk. Skunks think the phrase should have been drunk as yo mama. That's funny.
Thank you. I also doing like informal surveying. I am happy to report because Jared Stern is a professional comedian. Like he gets paid for this. He's been doing this for like decades.
Nice. I'll go see him if he ever comes down this
area. Yeah. I think I'm a funny guy.
You are,
and I think I'm good at haiku. But thank you. But I was on some level, worried that like I know my jokes are funny, and I think my jokes are as funny as his in the book. But I am pleased to report that just informally, anecdotally, when people say which ones they like, oh yeah, like I thought this one was really funny. I really like this one. It's pretty much an even mix. Like put Jared's stuff and my stuff because you don't know who. Like we didn't like sign them. Like you don't know who's who. And
You
there's some that
know,
we.
there might be hidden
I
things
know.
in the text or graphics.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some that he wrote. There was some that I wrote, and there's a lot that we collaborated on. Like we kind of like, oh, this is good. Maybe say that instead. But fundamentally, his thing or my thing. So he will know, and I will know. But there's no, and I feel like there's so much overlap in the jokes. And one of the things that I really like is that it's not just like there are puns, there's wordplay jokes, there's like straight that's just mean jokes, there's like playful jokes, there's like cartoonish jokes. Like it's not, even though they're all your mama jokes, it's not all one kind of joke.
Right.
Some are very smart, some are very stupid. Is that a reflection? Okay, there's like a light spot right here. It's like it is a reflection. It's a reflection.
A reflection, yeah.
Yeah. I like I like a lot about, like, to me, that's what makes this successful. I mean, it's very cool. It's very cool that we did this thing, and now that there's this book in the world that wasn't there before. But just like my show, the thing that makes me very happy about it, very excited about it, is that it is the kind of thing that I would like as a fan. Like I made Captain Game Show, and I love Captain Game Show because it's the kind of show that I would listen to. Like it's exactly the kind of show like that I would listen to. It is a show made for me, and I feel like this book is a book made because, like you've talked about 4 or 5 different. Yeah, I've edited that podcast.
Yeah.
You work on stuff as a creative person. You work on stuff all the time with a certain skill set. You work on stuff all the time that's not for you.
Yes.
And you do it, and it's fine. But every now and then, you work on something that's like, oh man, this is great. It is a joy to do it. It is a joy to encounter it.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, you get to you're like a fan of it. And it's not like you have to work on it. It's like, oh, I get to work on this.
Exactly. I think one of the first times that happened is when I got to edit LeVar Burton, and I was like messaging everybody I knew, and I had no idea.
Like LeVar Burton reads.
No, it was he was a guest on a show, and I just opened my I opened my normal task. I go to where the raw wave files are stored. I'm downloading. I'm listening to them. Like, wait a second. I'm like, holy crap, it's LeVar Burton. And then, they're doing before the show, and then they introduce them like, it is LeVar Burton. This is crazy. I just text everybody, I'm editing LeVar Burton.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it happens a bunch. Probably I got 10 celebrities that I edited without me knowing I was going to. Not the cool interviews I did and stuff, but just as part of my job. So those nights are fun.
Yeah, I was like, but you also interview celebrities, which is also very cool.
Yeah, which is cool too. But most of my job was just like snake oil salesman, trying to sell their book or their product or their service. And it's like, more on red light therapy. I don't think that's a thing. Okay.
Well, my day job is, I am the data visualization manager for Bloomberg Law.
Nice.
Which means
law, you said?
Bloomberg Law. So they
get discounts on your divorce. See, I didn't get that.
I did that. No, that didn't work out that way. So like it's like a news service, but like specifically, or news information source specifically for the legal industry, right? So I was hired on to they'll do surveys and like get information and get statistics. And so my job is to turn those surveys and statistics into, beautiful reports, like visual data visualization. I do charts, I do graphs, I do like slideshows, all that stuff, right?
Nice.
Yes, and it's fine. But I am not a lawyer, and I'm not, circling back to me not being great at math. I'm fine at math. I'm actually decent at math now, like grown-up math, the math I need to do.
When you have
But like
kids, you have to learn it
yeah,
because they ask you how to do it, and you're like,
but my eyes still glaze over if I see like a bunch of numbers. I'm like, just give me the bottom line. What's the point? What's the end game? So it is rare, and I'm not saying I don't like my job. I actually love my job because I get to make that stuff look interesting to someone like me. But a lot of it is like, there's a lot of doing stuff by committee, and like it's as jobs go, I've certainly done worse. I like a job. I like my coworkers. But when you get to edit LeVar Burton, it's yeah.
Jon Stewart, so many people, so many things. When he had finally got that thing passed for the veterans about all those black smoke things, he was on a podcast for like an hour and a half, and he was a great guy. And Terry Crews, I got to edit. He was a sponsor. He was representing some company, and I got to edit all the ad spots that Terry Crews did. So I got all the raw files, and it was crazy good. And like there's a medium too, because like there was a Canadian law podcast I did, so I really enjoyed the people, and they were such nice people, and I learned so much about Canadian law that will never help me, but I learned about it.
Well, you know what? Don't say you never know.
You never know.
There might be.
Yeah.
I can see some realities where maybe being in Canada, knowing Canadian law might be beneficial. In the
well, if I ever get arrested in Canada, I know who to call.
Or two.
Yeah.
Like none of it's I've had bad jobs, not a ton, but I've had bad jobs. And like that's like I'm saying, I've never had a hobby because there's stuff that interests me, but I'm not going out of my way to do like extra effort for it. Like that's what a hobby is, like extra effort.
Yeah, exactly. Like this podcasting thing, we put all our nights and weekends into it.
Yeah. A friend just messaged me.
What?
She just messaged me like because I was like, I'm about to go do the interview. I'm about to talk to Albie. Probably, I'm thinking 30 minutes to an hour, maybe. It's like, all right, I'll talk to you after. She just messaged like, tell Albie he needs better time management skills.
Oh, I have none.
I mean, I'm here too. Like, I could go at any time. Like,
yeah, you could. You got the safe word, right? Oh, what was your safe word?
I can't tell you on the air.
Okay. For me, it's usually a root vegetable. If I start mentioning root vegetables, I need to go.
I haven't been in a lot of situations where I've actually needed a safe word, and even in those situations, it's fine. You can do a lot with eye contact.
Yeah. Chris lately, he's been like, well, it's getting late. We need to go. That's his code.
Yeah.
Because like I'll talk forever.
Super subtle.
I feel like I know you so much better now. That's so awesome. I need you to recommend some things for me and the listeners. I need you to recommend a movie,
Sinners,
a TV show, an album,
wow,
a book,
hang on,
and a video game.
Write this down.
Okay.
Right.
Movie, TV show, book,
okay,
album, and video game.
Okay.
Not necessarily your favorite, but one you want to recommend,
Sure.
One that you think somebody would enjoy and maybe change your life a little bit or just have a good time.
Ooh, okay. See, these are different criteria. All right.
It's not one of those things where you can only listen to this on an island, but just like, what about this thing?
I'm gonna mix and match. I want to mix and match for you. So movie, first one to come to mind is Sinners. It is just now on demand.
Mm-hmm.
It is fantastic. In fact, I hosted a podcast talking about it.
I wish I would have seen it.
You should see it. It's on
And then I
demand.
could be on the
And
podcast.
the pod. Well, you know what?
Part two. You should just do
We'll
a
do.
Sinners podcast where
We
you interview
absolutely
different people
can.
who've seen it.
We absolutely can. Because like after I edited it, I was like, oh, we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about this. And we talked about like a lot of ideas in the movie and like some cool things in the movie, but there were major characters who were really worth talking about that I don't think I'm like, if I had it to do over again, I would have talked about each of the like 6 major characters individually. So watch the movie and we'll do it.
It's on my agenda. I was going to do it, but we went to Disney World and all that stuff. And then tonight I was like, I should watch it because I said I was going to watch it, but I was like, I have 2 hours to sleep. And now when it was my schedule, I'm like 2 hours. I can get 2 hours.
You know what? It's good. We had to have this conversation first to submit your to submit the plan. And yes,
so I didn't see it in the theater, but I got the 135 inch.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'll enjoy it.
That's what I heard.
TV
show.
TV show.
I feel like I just started watching something. I mean, there's a lot of really good TV shows. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that everybody isn't already recommending. I mean, of course,
right.
Watch Severance.
Watch Friends.
Watch Severance. Watch Friends.
Severance. Love Severance. That was
Severance
crazy.
is great.
Hilly. Oh my goodness. I don't like bangs. Right? Absolutely hate bangs. But about halfway through season 1, I'm like, I could work with that.
Bangs. Well, the redhead also.
Yeah, well, that's a free pass to me in my wallet.
Let me see okay, you know what? You know, there's the kind of thing like I love this because like this is the kind of thing that I would make. This is the first show where I was like, you know what? If I were ever going to make a show, it would be exactly this show. This show is completely my deal. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Really?
Yes.
Everybody I've heard said it's amazing, but I've never.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. And it's so because it is this blend of like there are some things that are just silly, but it's also so deep. Like the more you can enjoy it on every level. If you just want to look at it like a silly kid show, I guess you could. But the storytelling is so rich. The arcs, the character arcs, it's like, and I'm talking about the original 3 seasons with Aang and Katara and Sokka and Toph. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good, in fact, that I'm like, I think I need to do an Avatar podcast. I think I need to do like a episode by episode rewatch with 2 friends who haven't really seen it.
My exposure to it is the movie. I saw first 10 minutes.
The movie is not
and the Happy Meal toys, I think.
The Happy Meal toys not bad. There's a Netflix live action adaptation, which is fine. I know a lot of people hated on it. I thought it was fine. But I mean, it's like 6 episodes or 8 episodes or something, as opposed to a
3 seasons. How many episodes a season? Was it the long ones?
20
like
episodes.
36, 26? How many? 20?
It's 20 episodes, 21 episodes.
Minutes?
Yeah.
45 minutes?
So you can seriously, you can binge the entire series in a weekend.
Oh, nice.
Like comfortably.
I've never met anybody who watched it that didn't like it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Friendship is Magic. Like,
excellent.
People really see me watching it and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's good."
You're missing out.
Yeah,
the show is deeper than you think.
Yep. Like Rennie grew out of it. I never did. I finished it. There's a new one. I haven't checked that one out yet, though. Okay, Last Airbender. Okay, I'll take that.
Book.
Besides, of course, 1,700 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama. Am I saying that right?
You are.
Okay.
Oh, what's the name of?
Oh, and besides,
yes,
Quantum Leap: Foreknowledge by Christopher D. Philippus. Have you read his other book yet? Secret of Truth.
The
It's
Seeker.
really good.
I have it. I've started it. I've not finished it.
Oh, I had to do the whole thing. Just I couldn't put it down.
Oh, see, this is
Oh,
gonna,
that makes me feel better about you only reading the first half of my book.
yeah. It's a, yeah.
First part of it. First few chapters.
Oh my god, I can't remember. I can't believe it's going.
What was the moment that you had to put my book down? I'm just asking, as you know, a survey. Where were you like, okay, I'm done?
I mean, I think it was like literally I was like reading it while I was commuting to work, and then I got to work.
Oh, okay.
And then I
stopped. Reading a book on a train. On a train.
I was.
Nice. That's like when I watched Titanic on my cruise, and we watched Nightmare at 35,000 feet when we were on an airplane.
Yeah. Maybe not the best. It is going to bug me so bad that I can't remember the name of this book. Okay.
The Seeker, a novella of truth.
Yes, that is a good recommendation. I'll get back to them. Oh, you know what? Let me look up.
Okay. Yeah, he had me hooked when he was like going through that cave in the opening of the thing, and it was like Indiana Jones in his book.
There is there's a series of books called Magic 2.0 by Scott Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is Off to Be the Wizard. So it is a oh my gosh, that's not the one I want though.
Okay, you can pick something different.
No, it is. I mean, like, it's good, but I can't remember the name of the one that I want. And it's like, anyway.
What book do you wish your kids can experience the joy that you got from reading the book?
They kind of have a lot of Dr. Seuss.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like so many of the kind of heroes from my childhood. Dr. Seuss has been a subject of controversy in later years.
Everybody once you find out about him, right?
Yeah. But no, again, I'm not that deep, y'all. If it's
me neither.
funny,
I think
if it's funny and smart and illustrated and unique, I'm probably into it.
I think I want Rennie to enjoy Ready Player One like I did. I mean, the movie's okay, but the book.
See,
I was in a different world for
a few days. I very much enjoyed Ready Player One, but I also know that my kids are. That's not their. They're very into anime, which I'm happy about, but not so much into sci-fi. So like I've not made them watch Star Trek, really any Star Trek. Or I think we've watched Star Wars. I think pretty much if a Star Wars movie comes out, we probably see it. We probably go see it. And like we watch the Marvel movies.
But you still have time with your 11-year-old, because when you're 12, whatever you watch, that's what you love the rest of your life. So you miss the boat.
Well, like I said, they're both into anime. I'm good with that.
Well, that's good.
That's I will
Cowboy
take.
Bebop?
I will take that.
I'm thinking of starting that.
Cowboy Bebop is good. Cowboy Bebop is good.
Yeah.
There's like, I could recommend a lot, but like Attack on Titan, I think. And another thing of it is like, and this is me with sci-fi in general. I'm like, okay, did they finish the story or did they get canceled, in season 2 in the middle of a cliffhanger in the height of a quest, or like did they finish the story the way they wanted? If it gets cut off too soon, or if they drag it out too long, I just don't. I'd rather not even start it.
What the worst part is they have one bad episode, but it's the last episode. You know what series I'm talking about?
I do. I have an idea of what you might be referring to, but that doesn't. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that because I like, what, I give them a grade on the curve.
A pass, yeah.
All right. So for book, I'm just gonna say, because I can't remember the name of the. Oh my god! I keep wanting to say The Prophet, but it's not The Prophet.
I don't know that one.
It's
Mr. Penundrum's something.
It's not the
No.
prophet. It's the something, and it's like
It's a kid's book about Johnny Irons being a graphic designer one day.
it's not even a kid's book. It's like it's almost like this metaphysical fairy tale, and it's very short.
Really? So fantasy? Very short, like The Egg?
It's not that short.
Oh, that was a good book. I kind of believe that.
It's the something. I've never read The Egg.
Oh, it's short. It's shorter than my thing that I sent you.
By Andy Weir. Oh, I like Andy Weir. Okay.
Yeah, he's great. Everything he puts out, I devour.
And it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna kick myself because it's like not remembering. Like it's a very well known book and it's a very well known author. And if I could remember either one of them, I'm sure. And I don't have a copy of it because it's at the house. But
so fantasy?
Like, it's not really fantasy. It's I mean it's fantasy like
adventure.
It's more like a fairy tale. It's like this guy who is like is told a prophecy about his fortune and like the thing that's going to happen to him or the way that he's going to be. Or a fortune, a treasure that he's going to receive, basically. And he kind of goes on this fairly short journey. I mean, short in terms of the book. Like, I think it takes a couple of years.
Is it the Odyssey?
Not the
That
Odyssey.
was 20 years, I think.
Yeah, the Odyssey was a minute. It took him a while. Oh my God! All right, so
okay, we'll circle back.
Yes, we'll leave a space.
Yeah,
and like it'll be the the coda.
You got to watch to the end to find out what the book is.
I'm probably not gonna remember. All right, so we'll just go with Magic 2.0 series.
Okay.
Album. I'm going to say Stankonia by Outkast.
Outkast, dude, you cannot not dance in the car while you're playing that album.
That's
Andre 3000.
Yeah,
they nailed that specific sound at that specific time.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get old.
It doesn't get old. Like
it could be stuck in the player, and that's good.
They're like I was gonna say like Speaker Box The Love Below, which is kind of like the one they did after that, but they kind of started to that's basically two albums. They kind of put out their individual albums. I feel like I wouldn't say the height of their powers, but like that's a great album. Stankonia.
I keep flashing back to I think it was an episode of Will and Grace, and the one lady's like dancing to it in her car, and I'm like, same.
Video game, okay.
Yeah, video game. That's a new thing for me because I've always wanted to be a gamer, and I must have every game system and every game that I want.
Are you good at video games?
Huh?
Are you good at it?
No. So I usually end up doing the like choose your own adventure video games, like I did with Chris and stuff, where you just kind of pick a menu or something. But I want to be more of a gamer. I picked up 2 Xbox Ones, the one back, and I picked up this Mortal Kombat X, and then I picked up BioShock.
Is that the Infinite? Okay.
Infinite, which is the third one, I think, right?
Yes.
I think. So, and it was like I got the club, so you get $5 off, and they were cheap. So I walked out of there with 2 games and a Red Bull for $5.
BioShock is very good.
Yeah.
So you haven't played any of the others? I would. I'm assuming. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 recommendations. Video games.
Because those are some of them are as good as books and
yes.
movies.
Okay, so one of them is for the PlayStation.
I got the 5.
Well, the most. No, you got a 5
and a 2.
Perfect. All right, so get these both on your PlayStation 5. Uncharted. You can get the Nathan Drake video games. by Naughty Dog. You can get like the trilogy as like one bundle,
Oh,
and
nice.
you can like download it. Um, it is one of, if not the best, like single player game
Cool. I'll play that next. I
adventure
have
game.
one of them. I don't know which one. I bought it for PS5. It was like on sale at the GameStop.
You get the trilogy because
Okay.
it's a whole
So
arc.
start at
It's
the
like
beginning.
start at the beginning.
Okay.
Meet Nathan Drake. See his encounter his adventures. Live his life. Um, so that's a single player game. A dual player game. We just got this like a few months ago. I was very excited. Um, Split Fiction is the name
Oh,
of
Rennie
it.
wants to play that.
Play that with Rennie.
Okay. She asked
It,
me. And it's like
yes,
$70, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I think I'll probably get it for like 60.
Okay.
But I might have gotten it on
But
sale
it's
because I also had
two-player.
like it's 2 player simultaneous play. Like you have to play together. Like you have to rely on each other. So we got oh, what was the name of it? We played one game from the same makers before that. I'm trying to remember the name of that game, but we have that too. Split Fiction. Oh, I'll just say light Split Fiction. And actually, you know what? Never mind. It Takes Two was the name of that game. And that's how oblivious I was. I heard it was a great game. And it was a great game. But the plot of the game is 2 parents are getting divorced,
Oh.
and the little girl like kind of goes into this dream world basically, and magic happens, and these 2 players, the mom and the dad, become like toys. Like they're 2 of her toys. That's like 2 little handmade toys that she made. So those are the characters that you play, and you have to work together. You have to work together. And like you're arguing through a lot of it because you're getting divorced. You're getting
Yeah.
divorced. And it's like, oh, you always do this, blah, blah, blah. But you have to work together. And so that's, I guess, kind of a triple recommendation. I'm splitting my 2-player recommendation because Split Fiction is the new one, and I'm not going to tell you the plot of it, but play it with Rennie. And It Takes Two is the older one that kind
Okay.
of was the blueprint, I think, for Split Fiction. So I'm
Nice.
recommending that.
I like that. Yeah, well, we'll definitely do that then.
The Alchemist
The Alchemist.
by
Is that
Paula,
the book?
by Paul Coelho. Yes.
Awesome.
Hang on, let me triple check this. I'm yes, The Alchemist by Paulo
Alchemist.
Coelho.
And it's not that long?
No, it's not that long.
See, I asked for reasons because I actually take these as recommendations and I go through them and I actually do them. So I'm excited.
No, it didn't occur to me, honestly. It didn't occur to me that you weren't. I mean, I get it's 182 pages.
Yeah, and I love sharing that experience with somebody. Yeah, I love sharing that with somebody. Like somebody recommends it to me and I enjoy it, then we have that thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cool
honestly,
affinity.
you know what? That's a I'd say this to someone a while ago, like showing a movie that you love, like watching a movie that you love with somebody, like introducing them to that or music or something. That's like this is me. I am opening up a part of me I'm introducing you to a new part of me. I hope you like it because it's me. I hope you like it. It's okay if you don't. Like people are different.
I'd say
But I hope that
80%
you
of the
do.
time I'm on the same wavelength and dig whatever the people that I, care about they recommend. So that's
Avatar, Avatar: The Last Airbender is fantastic, and I really do think you'll like it because you're a fan of all the same stuff.
yeah.
Cartoons, it's
We
silly,
like the same
it's
stuff.
so smart.
I like silly and
The
smart
fights
together.
are great. Like the fights are like really good. It's good. I might have to watch it again.
All right. The video games I just finished Vertigo not too long ago. That was really good.
Vertigo is the
PS5.
game.
Yeah, it's kind of loosely based on the movie, and it takes place in the Alfred Hitchcock universe.
Wow.
Yeah, so it got a lot of bad reviews, but I was like, I don't see it because I enjoyed it. And the one I'm playing now is True Colors. Not the newest one, but the second to newest one. It's about the girl who can feel people's auras and stuff. That's pretty good. Okay. I like that. I like those kind of games where you just like
you will
walk around hanging out.
Get Split Fiction, and I think I got the hard copy, like I got the actual disc because I think
I always do. Unless it's like $1.99 to download a $60 game.
I try that too, just because like especially since like the PS5, like the Switch lives here, and the PS4 lives here with me, but the Xbox One and the PS5 are at the house. And when it's my weekend and we want to play the game, like we got to pack up like it's a whole lot of back and forth with the PS5. And sometimes like we forget the disc. Okay, we got the system, but we can't play the game. So I will always try to get the digital download.
Well, that makes sense.
And also if it's something for the PlayStation, if I own it on like one system, like if I get it on the PS5, I can also download it on the PS4. So stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
I think.
It was crazy. Sure. I was at the GameStop tonight, and I was just trying to pick up, cheap old games for the Xbox One because I never had an Xbox One. I always played the 360, and I didn't get the new one yet because I'm mostly PS5. But there were so many people there, and it was crazy because I guess Switch 2 is coming out tonight. So like you come back at midnight, you come back at 11, you come back at 1.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll probably get it in August for Rennie's birthday.
I don't want to get it.
Yeah, it doesn't look that much different. It really doesn't.
It doesn't. And like he got the Switch is technically Malcolm's. Like I think he got it as a Christmas present. Mm-hmm. But like I said,
her Switch is hers. She has 3 altogether. One in her mom's, one here, and a Switch Lite she carries around.
I'm sure that he's gonna get, because his birthday is in September. I'm sure that's gonna be like his present. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't convince us to get it for him before that somehow.
Yeah, it's like, that's quite a bit of money. I think that's like a birthday thing. I don't think that's like a day one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mario Kart looks cool. I don't know. Was that all of them? Album, book, series?
That was all of them. Now that I've remembered the Alchemist, I can rest at last.
Good. That does sound good. Okay.
Yeah, I like things that are surprisingly. I like things that are undercover. I like things that appear to be simple, but are actually very smart, very spiritual, very wise and compassionate. Like I like things that are easily dismissed, but if you take the time, you see that it's worth it. Because I feel like that's how a lot of life is. Like it's easy to go through your day, and everybody does. I do it, like without, and not pay attention to things and summarize things because it's faster. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that, because you have to do that
to survive sometimes.
Yeah, or just to make it through your day. Like I can't, I can't like individually read the ingredients on everything at the grocery store. Like, okay, I gotta, you gotta.
I used to before I needed glasses. Have you ever read Hail Mary by Andy Weir?
I was gonna say that's an Andy Weir, right?
Weir, Hail Mary.
No. Short answer is no. Is that the latest one?
I think so.
Because there was The Martian, and then there was
Artemis,
which I did.
Artemis, I loved. That I listened to on audio because it was Rosario Dawson. and I got to
Yes,
think.
that's why I
I got
started.
to think
I
for
need
her.
to give it another shot.
I got to
need to give
think
it
for
another
her.
shot.
So, when they were talking about maybe making a movie, I was like, it better be Rosario Dawson.
I used to read a lot of because when I would drive for the art gallery,
Hmm.
I would do that. That was when I first started doing books on tape or like audiobooks.
Yeah, we're that generation. Books on tape.
Yeah, they were on. Actually, I think maybe the first one that I did was on tape because it was from the library, and that's what the library had.
I still buy them on MP3 CD when I see them at the thrift store or something. A book I want to listen to.
I don't. Well, that's when I got my Audible subscription. Not long after that. So I would that was actually kind of good times. It was like I wasn't like a trucker, but like I was kind of living that lifestyle because I would like
public restrooms at the truck stop and stuff.
Public restrooms, and just like late night driving. I would drive, because you got a per diem, right, to spend the night at the hotel. But if I slept at home and then just
the per diem,
drove it straight, I would get the per diem, and I get the mileage, and it was always kind of So like audiobooks on tape, audiobooks, and NPR, public radio. So like you'd be driving, you'd be crossing state lines, and one NPR station would kind of slowly fade, and it would get more staticky, and you just kind of wiggle the knob a little, and you pick up the next NPR station. That was NPR was always there. Shout out NPR.
I always tried to model QLP after NPR, the original audio ones I did.
Wait, Don't Tell Me was absolutely one of the inspirations for Captain Game Show. Like the format isn't the same. Like the questions aren't the same because they're like they like ask about the news, not just about whatever. But one host, 3 guests who are funny, and
that's why I haven't been on. I get it now.
That's not why I haven't done. I'm telling you, man.
What, you been writing a book or something? What, you been raising kids? What, you been dating again?
Working a job, like a job?
You got a real job. You got a day job.
I've been, it's already been kind of petering off. The Captain Game Show used to be like a weekly show. And then it was like, okay, every couple of weeks. And, lately, once every month or 6 weeks. And at this point, I don't even know the last time I put an episode out because I made this big deal about episode 200, what I'm going to do for episode 200. And I decided, sorry for everyone who contributed to episode 200 for the thing that I asked you to do. I'm sorry for everyone who did the thing I asked you to do. I'm actually not going to do that because basically it's going to be like a retrospective of like, how'd you meet John? What's the show about? Like Captain Game Show, the movie, right? And but like the more I'm like, that just sounds so obnoxious and exhausting. I'm like, what I want to talk about for an hour? Me. So I'll do that at some point, but I do still want to do something special for episode 200, and I have an idea for what I'm going to do for episode 200, but it's going to take a lot of writing, a lot more writing than a regular show.
Ooh. So anyone that hasn't heard the podcast yet, they have time to listen to the other 199.
Yes. Catch up on the other 199 episodes. Whichever, because I think a few of them might have been pulled for copyright infringement.
See, I'm very careful about that now. QLP has a lot of Quantum Leap clips, but they never cared. Universal.
Well, that's fine, but like that's in promotion of the show. I'm just using their stuff like for my own purposes. But like it is not. It's always done out of love, and it's never like. See, and it's all like I'm sure it's like AI who's like flagging it. It's like, oh, it sounds like you played this clip from Toy Story. Like, yeah, I did. That's you got me. It sounds like you played the first, the first verse of this Metallica song. Yeah, I did. You got me. I'm not profiting off it. I'm not like, I don't charge anything for the podcast, and I'm not, it's all, like I said, it's always done out of love. And a lot of times sometimes I'll play the actual clip or the song or a part of the song. Sometimes I'll play, often it's a parody of the song. So like if it's just picking up the music, yeah, it's the same music, but I've done a parody over it.
Right.
Or I've changed, or I've done something else with it. Or I've mixed these 2 or 3 or 4 songs together.
Like that one I sent you a couple days ago.
Yes.
I'm addicted to it. It's 99 Problems by the Beach Boys.
That's good. I've been listening. So like there's, I showed my kids yesterday, there's, Unusual Suspects, I think is like the YouTuber. But they'll redo songs, but they'll just like all the lyrics are like movie clips or like from a show.
Oh wow.
So they did Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Yeah, I saw that one.
They did, and I was like, you know what, you're not gonna know a lot of these movies. Do this one instead. And there was Wannabe by the Spice Girls.
Oh, I got to see that one. I
think that one's fairly new. Okay. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And the kids actually know, because I've been introducing them to like 90s movies, that I'm like, okay, like this is part of your education. You need to have seen Groundhog Day. You need to have seen Back to the Future. You need to have seen Ghostbusters. And now that they're a little bit older, okay, you need to have seen Terminator 2.
Yep.
You need to have seen Die Hard. These are
Rennie
fundamental.
Has seen Die Hard. She hasn't seen Terminator yet. I'm trying. But she knows what knows Die Hard. She's like, oh, look, Janeway's pulling a Die Hard or something. But
yes. I haven't shown them
well educated.
The first Terminator.
Yeah. There's an awkward scene where you got to go up and use a restroom or make some popcorn.
And it's weird because they've seen stuff that's worse. Like Halim and I don't.
I know, but you don't want to sit there next to your kid watching that scene.
Okay, so that has happened one time, where a scene that I definitely did not. I wish I had. So for the most part, I've seen the stuff that they were going to see before I show it to them. But we watched the 21 Jump Street movie.
Ah, yes, I have it. I haven't seen it yet.
I'd never seen it. I'd heard it was funny, and it seems like, like whatever, like PG-13, goofy humor. A ton of F-bombs, which again, we're watching it together. They know they can't use that kind of language. Like, this isn't okay. I know.
Right.
So, okay. But there is a scene of not actual sex, but there's a sex scene. And it's literally just a flash on the screen. And I want to say it's doggy style. I want to say it's doggy style. Oh my God.
That might be better than Terminator though, because that's like 4-minute scene.
Yeah, but again, if I had known it was, you
kind of need it for continuity, right? Because that's how John Connor was made.
Yeah, I mean, you can fast forward, like you can say this is sex scene, whatever.
I thought about clipping it out, maybe. I don't know, just to avoid the awkwardness.
Just say but I know that's coming. I can prepare for that.
Yeah,
I would have said, okay, like close your eyes, sex scene, and I'll skip forward, and then because I've done that.
Watch this part.
Movie. Oh, it was Starship Troopers.
Oh, the shower scene.
There's like one sec. Yeah.
Yeah, see, nudity doesn't bother me because people got elbows. It's the sexuality that makes it.
I think it was a sex scene. I think there's a sex scene in Starship Troopers.
I haven't seen it.
Yes.
Dina Meyer in the shower.
Because it was another thing. I'd never seen that movie.
Oh, and the people's heads explode and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, again, they watch anime. That's
a little bit. Yeah, I keep trying to tell Rennie because, I was like, you're almost too old to be too young to watch this. You got to watch this while you're too young to watch this.
I tried because I was definitely too young to watch a lot of stuff that I watched. But I'm sure I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm great. Look at me.
Totally good.
I live in a space station. Yeah. We were all way too young. I was 7 years old watching Raw and Delirious on VHS.
7. I wasn't. Yeah. Was that 7?
Had to be.
No, I wasn't. I was. My cousin rented
I think it was Raw, Delirious, and History of the World Part 1 when she babysat me. And I was like, I love this. This is great.
That was another one. I was like, you know what? I was like, they need to see Spaceballs, and I was like, I actually waited. There's a couple of things in Spaceballs that
it's not so bad. If you don't know, you don't know, right?
I feel like that I would have to rewatch Spaceballs to make sure that it's better.
I do a quick skim of the Parents Guide if it's been a while.
See, but Halima has shown them things that I would not have shown them. Like she's shown them Stranger Things. She's shown them like the Deadpool. I'm like, are you kidding me? Deadpool?
I'm not saying Rennie hasn't seen all the Deadpools and all the Stranger Things. But I'm not saying she did, but I'm not saying she didn't.
It's I feel like it should have been a conversation. That's I guess that's kind of where my main thing. Because I would have said no. And like again, like we get along for the most part, but this is one of the things where it's not even a clash because they've seen it at this point. They can't unsee it. But I'm like, okay, just show me the same level of respect that you want from me. Like if I show them something that like because I wouldn't have done that for you. I wouldn't have done that to you. It would have been a conversation. Like, hey, I want to show them this.
I got in trouble after me and Rennie watched The Shining. I was like, what? Only one person dies. It's Scatman Carruthers. He's funny.
You barely see it.
Yeah, and Rennie, he's funny. Scatman Carruthers.
I guess.
And then Rennie was like, 2 people died. Jack Nicholson died. I was like, oh, I guess.
Yeah.
But he was frozen, so it was a slow thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I got in trouble for that because she had nightmares. She might have been too young. Yeah. She was like 10 and we were watching The Shining. I was like, it's a really cold night. It's a great night to watch The Shining.
I feel like that's a common story. I feel like, especially like The Shining and Halloween, like I feel like people, like a lot of that stuff happens. Oh, you know, we're up late for Halloween. Oh, it's a sleepover. Oh, I had such good memories of this. Let's and then like I feel like everyone's got I should not have watched that story.
But
I was too young to see that.
This is what troubles me, and my thinking anyway, is when we were kids, life was different.
It's going to have to be like a part 1 and part 2. We're going to do this in segments, the Irons series.
Life was different. We were in the generation where it was don't open the door for anybody. And now the kids just have one parent at least with them 24/7. So they can't sneak away and watch Raw and Delirious and, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street when they're 7. Like we could.
Yeah, but they also have the
on
internet.
HBO or whatever. That's true.
But they also
they're
have
watching
the
more
internet, so
stuff
they don't need to
than we
sneak
ever saw at
anywhere.
their age.
They can they've got their phones. They can literally just be in their room.
But they don't watch anything that's not 9:16 and scrollable, you know. I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Sorry. 2 things before I let you go.
Okay.
One, you've started dating again.
Yes.
How long did that take? How did you do it? Why did you decide to do it? Why haven't I done it?
That sounds like more than 2 things, Albie.
No, well, that's one thing.
Oh my God.
The other.
Okay. I personally, I am largely fine on my own. I'm not like I'm an introvert by nature. I'm a social guy, but I'm an introvert. So I get lonely sometimes. For the most part, I'm fine on my own. I enjoy the company of others. I don't necessarily feel like I need to be in a relationship or in a couple. So saying all that to say, a lot of the single people, most of the single people that I know, are on a few dating apps. They're on Hinge, they're on OkCupid, they're on Bumble, I think is one.
Bumble, yeah.
They're on Tinder, they're on stuff. I am only on OkCupid because I kind of looked at the different sites and they seem just so superfluous. They seem so like just, oh, you're cute, I'm cute, let's date. Like, do you like movies? I like movies, let's date. Like,
music? You like music too? Yeah.
Dylan? Yeah, I like Dylan.
Yeah.
I don't. I would rather. So the thing that attracted me to OkCupid is that there's always questions that you have to answer,
Ah.
and they match you. Oh, this person answered the same way that you did. Oh, you guys matched on 112 questions. You guys agreed on 112 questions, and you disagreed on like 45. So we think that there would be a good match. You're a 98% match. And you get, there's the photos and the profile you can write, like your profile and stuff. But to me, like, I'm only on OkCupid, and I've only gone out with people who I have matched with, because I'm not the guy who's gonna go up to you at a bar or be like, that to me just seems random and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're cute and in my proximity, we should try going out. Like, no, I don't know. I need to know at least something about you to see if it's frankly worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how.
Well, that's why we're doing this 3-hour conversation.
Yeah. To introduce me, hey, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't say how old you are. That's right, I didn't. And it's not even that I'm like ashamed of my age or anything. I just think it's like I'm a fairly open book, so I think it's fun to have one mysterious thing.
Yeah.
That's even mildly mysterious. Like, if anyone wanted to actually know, it's not that hard. It's not like I'm
just
not
ask Stacy.
I guess so.
She's got the IMDb thing, so she knows everything.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, my digital footprint is right there. Like, it ain't that hard to figure out how old I am. But yeah, so I am dating, but I don't date much.
Okay. Was that a hard decision? Because I dated a couple people.
To date or not to date?
Yeah,
that's the question.
I dated a few people after my marriage went south, and every time I was trying to go through the motions, I wasn't emotionally available. I wouldn't let myself get hurt again, so I just gave up.
I am not looking for anything. So like on my profile, and it says, like, and again, it's another thing. It'll be like, okay, what are you looking for? Are you looking for like long-term relationship, short-term relationship, hookups? Are you looking for just like friendship? So on my thing, it says or new friends. I think it says new friends, short-term relationship, long-term relationship. Those are things that I'm open to. So basically,
open to but not looking for.
Open to but not looking.
Well, friendships.
Well, yeah, and like I didn't do. I am definitely like the more Halima is the more dominant of us, so we ended up basically doing what she wanted to do. And I'm not saying that like she like didn't let me do stuff, but I'm easygoing and I can find whatever. I'm not gonna like make a stink about it. So when I started dating, like my thing is I want to do cool stuff with cool people. That's really like, I'm like, I am open if like, and sometimes that cool stuff is like all kinds of stuff, like it. So if I'm certainly open to a relationship, I'm not seeking a relationship. If something kind of develops, awesome. And if it doesn't, we can try it. And if it doesn't, then hopefully at least I've made a friend. Like 2 of my closest friends now are women that I met on OkCupid. And we decided to just be friends. And they're awesome. Like they're 2 of my best friends. So
but not your best friend, because me,
right? Not my best friend.
Okay.
So I think,
did it take you a while?
Because there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Because I'm not looking for a relationship. There's no expectation of like, there's no sense of disappointment. Like I am probably, and again, like that's kind of why I use the service. Like there's like, it kind of, pre-screens a lot of stuff. Like, are you, you know, do you have these, like, do we have these basic things in common? Then we're probably going to be friends, and maybe we can be more than that, and we'll see. It took Halima started dating before I did. Halima dated a lot more, or dates a lot more than I do. I don't think she dates as much now, because we've been, like I said, it's going on 3 years since we've been apart.
My ex was dating before I knew there was any trouble in the marriage, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Guys are always the last to know, I think. What happened?
I mean,
yeah. The last time I did a dating app, it was Facebook dating, and a woman way hotter than I should have went out with messaged me, and I thought it was a trick or something. But I did more research, and she was a real person, and she wanted to date me, and I dated her a few times, and the whole time I'm thinking, she's clearly like a hard 8 to a 9, depending, and I'm like a 4. I don't know what the hell's going on, so I'm just kind of like waiting,
So you didn't trust it.
Well, it was just weird. I didn't understand, but yeah, I think she dumped me. It was Christmas Eve one year, and I think, yeah, and I was like, I think I'm done with rejection, and I think I'm done with dating, and I think I'm just done with everything. And it's really nice to not have anybody mad at you,
Agreed.
So I don't know.
So I have not been in a relationship since the divorce.
But you just go out on dates.
Arguably,
right?
I wasn't in a relationship during the marriage either. I'm not. Again, I'm open to it. I think, and I'm not like saying like I'm super healed either. I don't like that might be. See, I think I kind of have the opposite problem. Like I am a romantic.
Me too.
I think like you, right?
Yeah.
So I know that if I think my inclination is to kind of go all in, probably sooner than I should. And so in a lot of ways, this is like phase 2 for me. Like, and I never dated much before I got married. I was kind of a late bloomer. Like I didn't have a girlfriend until college.
Yeah, I was almost 19 before I dated.
Yeah, I didn't, because I was always the friend. Like, oh, like he's nice, but like
same.
Which is probably why it feels right to me to be. I mean, I arguably I think everyone should do this, but like it definitely feels more right to me to no, not necessarily be friends first, but like the friendship is so important to it. Like I'm not just gonna go out with somebody just because they're attractive or they're into me. Like that, like I need there to like that. I think if I were to have dated like that, that would have been like 20s John dating. But
well, especially when we're our age, it's more about the friendship and the day-to-day compatibility and the fun of actually just hanging out with that person.
Yeah,
rather
and it is at a stage where like there's a lot more. It's a lot more effort, like logistically, because you've got to manage schedules. Okay, well I can't. Like I've got my kids that weekend, or I've got to do this thing. Like you've got responsibilities.
Well, that's the other thing. You just say, okay, I'm available 3 days a week if I'm not doing other things as well, and
yes,
or trying to sleep or clean the house or do the laundry.
The woman that I'm kind of sort of saying now, we're friends and we're kind of deciding maybe we want to be more. Well, like there's definitely attraction, but she recently divorced too, so like we're both kind of treading lightly. And I'm in Silver Spring, which is basically, I'm like a mile from the DC line, and she is in Baltimore, which isn't far, but it's kind of far enough that it's an effort.
Yeah,
it's basically like for me to drive from my
so
my house to her house is like an hour.
Okay.
which again, it's not insurmountable, but that's a long way to drive, especially when like our schedules, I think I mentioned before, our schedules don't align. You know, she's got her kids these days. I've got my kids these days. And like, so like, you know, we'll have been dating for a month, but it's only been 2 dates or 3 dates, because that's like the only time that we can kind of get together.
I guess that's dating at this age, though.
Well, it's dating at this age when the person lives an hour away.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
A lot of times we'll like, you know, we'll go to the movies or we'll go to a restaurant that's kind of in the middle, so it's like a 30-minute drive for both of us, which is okay and kind of tenable. But you also don't want to, like, every time you hang out, I want to like hang out in someone's place sometimes. It's just, it's a hassle. It's just a hassle.
And then you got to be thinking, if it does work out, your kids are here, her kids are there. You can't relocate, so it's always going to be.
Yeah, and again, it's not like it's only an hour.
Okay,
it's not like it's so far. It's not like she's, you know, in New York or something. But it makes dating. It makes dating tough. It is a.
So you got to next time on OkCupid, you got to reduce the radius. You did 100 miles or something. What did you do?
No, I think it's like right at the. I think it's right
I'd be like 5 miles.
And I thought about that, like that's one of the OkCupid questions. Like, do you want to do a long distance relationship? I was like, well, I think I said, like, it's like, yes, it's fine, or it depends on the distance, or no. And I think initially I said no, and I think maybe like now it's kind of depends on the distance. But like it, and it's also like if we were already in a relationship, this would not be an issue. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
If I'm already like committed to somebody, then like we'll make that work. But this is we're not kind of sure stage. So,
do you date at this age because you just don't want to know how the rest of your life goes? Because I think that's the sad part of my life right now is like I pretty much know this is it. You know,
is that why I'm dating?
Yeah, like just to be open to possibilities.
To be open to possibilities. And I don't. I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
You like to watch a movie with a lady in the theater.
I don't get lonely per se emotionally, because I have friends, and like most of the stuff that I do that I would potentially do with like a girlfriend, I can do with my friends. Like, we go out to eat, we go to the movies, we hang out, we watch TV together, like, you know, we talk and play games and all that stuff. There are some things that I would only do with a girlfriend. And those things, like, I don't.
The whole Lady and the Tramp thing, I don't see you and Chris doing that.
I am not trying to live without that stuff. Like, I do like that stuff.
There you go.
And I recognize as a modern person that I don't have to be in a relationship to find someone to do that stuff with, but I want to. I don't. Yeah,
it's better in a relationship, I think.
Yeah, I do not have. I am not looking for hookups on my OkCupid profile.
Lastly, before we go and before we do the plugs and talk about your book one last time, this podcast, this video, this audio will exist long after us.
Okay.
What is something you want to leave behind for future generations, maybe in your lineage to come, or otherwise? What are words you want to say from the past to the future?
All right, I got 2.
Okay.
I have 2. I'm not going to say they're my only philosophies of life, but they're kind of the core. All right. We'll get another 10 minutes. I'll try to go quick. In fact,
never be quick on my show.
I'm going to give you 3.
As long as you possibly can.
I'm going to give you 3.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a time when I recognized a truth about the universe. Actually, I guess that's what all three of these are.
Okay.
All right. So the first is, do you remember the game Contra? Video game Contra?
I've seen it. I have no idea what it is.
Okay. So it's a dual player game. It's a side scroller. You're like a commando. You're shooting.
Yes. I
alien
can see the
bad guys.
cover of something.
All right. So my brother and I were playing Contra back in the 80s. Was it on the Atari, the ColecoVision, maybe? Not the ColecoVision. It was on something.
I want to say Atari.
So we had
both.
We had put in the code, right? So we got the 30 extra lives, we got the extra ammo, blah 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 blah. And it's dual player, right? So we're playing, and we're getting to a point where like we've run through our lives, and I'm low on health. I'm about to die, and I'm like, hey, cover me. There's like a little health pod, right? I'm like, cover me. He's like, cool. So he's covering me. I run for it. I get shot, and I'm flat. So like when you die, you flash and then you disappear. Right?
I'm thinking this in Atari 2600. It's like 5 blocks, and it's like
it probably wasn't the 2600. It's probably like I can't remember.
Could have been regular NES.
It was. No, it was pre-NES. It was pre-Nintendo.
Commodore 64. I'm thinking Combat.
So whatever was between the ColecoVision and the Nintendo. I think it's what it was.
TurboGrafx 16. No, that wasn't it. Maybe.
No, that was post. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I get shot, and I fall on the extra life. And so I'm flashing already. So technically I've died. But then I get up and the extra life is gone. So even though I died, I was alive. So here's the takeaway. And it's not probably what you think. It's not like a spirit, it's not like a hallelujah thing. It redefined my definition of infinity. Because we started off, we had 50 extra lives, right? Like to me, my understanding of infinity was like, if you have an infinite number of beings, you have a giant mound of beings that has so many beings in it that you can never count it. That was my understanding of infinity at that age. But I realized after I died, but was still alive because I had gotten my extra life, infinity is not some gigantic amount. Infinity is just one more. As long as you have one, you have an infinite amount. If I have a bag and if I've got one bean in it, if I take the bean out, but I've still got a bean in there, that's infinity.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? From Contra. All right. Okay. So that's the one that was like a mind-blowing experience, but it's not like, it doesn't like affect my daily life.
I've never thought of it like that.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So key to the universe number 2. Kid playing in the backyard. We had dogs, and there's a pile of dog poop over in the yard, and I'm playing with whatever, and I see a butterfly. Butterfly comes, flutters down, lands on the dog poop, and to me, at that age, I was 6, 7. Like butterflies are like, oh, the butterflies are beautiful and gentle and majestic and like the epitome of elegance and like delicacy, right? And I'm like, no, you beautiful thing, get off that's poop. So I'm like, no, get away. So I shoo the butterfly away, and the butterfly kind of flutters around for a little bit, and then it lands back on the poop. And I look closely, and I see that the butterfly has extended its little tongue thing, and it's like sucking, like it's eating from the poop. And I was like, oh, this thing that I thought was like such a beautiful, perfect little thing is actually full of poop. This thing that seems like it's so nice and pretty on the outside is just full of what I think is like the nastiest stuff on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a life lesson for you.
It is.
Part 2 of that story. So, and Halima makes a guest appearance in this. Because we met in high school, as I said, we're just friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her this story, and she's kind of like, okay. So she comes back to me a couple of days later. She's like, okay, so John, I did some research, because she's a journalist. Even then, she's like, I did some research, and it turns out that the butterfly was not eating the poop. Inside the poop were, like, there's still like little bits of sugar. There's still glucose. There's still like usable nutrients. And that's what the butterfly was eating. It wasn't eating the poop part. It was eating the sugar inside. So, yes, the pretty thing, the butterfly, can be full of the poop, but also the poop, the horrible thing, can have something useful and good inside.
Wow. You should write more books.
Right.
Philosophy.
Thank you. So here's that. Those are fundamental truth number 1, fundamental truth that kind of shaped my perception of the world. Fundamental truth number 3, and this is the one that is like practical application. This can be used effectively on a regular basis. I mean, weekly, if not daily. Yeah, probably weekly or monthly. Okay. There's an origin story for this one. I was working at Bell South, which I don't even know if it still exists, but
Telephone company.
And I worked in the mail room. Not the mail room as in like distributing mail to the company. And the mail room is in where I helped run the machine that sent out your bills.
Oh.
So the individual bills go in the envelopes, like they go in the mail cart, like. So this is the letter folding, envelope sealing machine, right? Basically, it's almost a factory floor. And I had this coworker who would always complain about stuff, like, but she wouldn't complain in any kind of useful way. Like, so the manager would come. He's like, okay, guys, here's the new hours, or like we're doing this thing instead of that thing. Some change, right? And like during the meeting, everybody would kind of nod. Meeting, like, he would stand in the middle of the floor and just tell everybody, and then he would leave. And like, any questions? No one ever had any questions. But afterwards, she was like, "Isn't that crazy that they doing that?" Like, I'm like, I guess. But just like, always has something to say, but never in a useful time or way. And it got to a point, I want to, Carla might have been her name. And at one point, maybe I was having a bad day, but she was complaining about something, and I said, you know what? I feel like you have 2 choices. You have 3 choices. You can say something to him. You can just accept that that's the thing. You can say something to him, or we can quit. But I don't see the point of just complaining about it. life truth number 3. And I found this to be true to this day, any uncomfortable, unpleasant, untenable situation, you get those same 3 choices. And sometimes it might take you a while to recognize, you know what, this can't keep going this way, because you might be in a situation for a while before you realize it's not going to work. But and then in fact, this is on my OkCupid profile. Like, this is my philosophy of life. Like, this is you get these 3 choices. You can deal with it, meaning, you know what, I don't love it, but it is what it is. I make my peace with it and move on. You can change it. You know what, I don't love it. I cannot abide this. We're going to have to come up with some kind of compromise. We're going to have to do something different, because this is not going to work for me. Or you can quit. You can remove yourself from the situation. You know what? I get that you can't change it. I cannot deal with this. We can't come to an agreement. I gotta go. Without exception, in my experience. And like, this is encompassing like some big stuff, like heavy situations. And obviously, to a degree, you don't have a choice over what happens in your life. Like, obviously some things you can't control.
Right.
But as far as what you can control, I have yet to encounter a situation where those 3 choices don't apply. And I'm not saying that any one of those 3, I'm not rooting you. Well, you should always try to work it out. No. Sometimes you need to leave. Sometimes you need to just accept that this is the way. Like, it's going to be one of those 3. Like, your situation is going to resolve in one of those 3 ways. At least if you bring a resolution to your situation, it's going to be one of those 3 things. And I have yet to find a situation that didn't apply. And I have yet to find a situation where a 4th option is needed. It's going to be some version of one of those 3 things. You can deal with it, you can change it, or you can quit.
Wow. I like that. I exist in the spot looking at all 3 choices paralyzed.
Then you're dealing with it.
Maybe.
Then you've accepted the situation as it is, because you're not motivated enough to change it or quit. So you deal with it. Like, you know what? I don't love it, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing philosophy. That really
let's
helps
deal with it.
With things. My show and tell, since you mentioned it, with Contra. I carry this always with me. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, nice.
Just in case I need it. I figure, wouldn't it be cool if, like, I'm laying on the morgue table and the mortician pulls this out of my pocket or whatever and goes, huh, okay.
Nice.
And then I respawn where I was.
I feel like
it's my extra life coin.
I feel like I just got something that I was going to.
From Ready Player One.
Show and tell. But I can't remember what it was. So.
Well, you should show and tell this. The man is John Irons. The book is 1700 Esoteric Syllables About Yo Mama, written by John Irons and Jared Stern from Between Two Sterns.
Okay, and yes, buy the book. That would be awesome. I would appreciate it. Thank you. But like, arguably, kind of the most important thing is leave a review. Like, it'd be great if you like leave like a written review, like, hey, I love the book or whatever, but leave like a star review. Because right now I think 5 stars would be best, ideally. You know, I mean, but you know, follow your heart.
if you listen to 3 hours of this man and you won't give him 5 stars, I don't know.
If you open the book and like you land on like a mediocre joke, like, yeah, it didn't really hit. If you're feeling you know, 4.5. You go 4.5.
4.7.
And like a written review is good, but like the more of that, the more kind of like word of mouth that boosts the like its cachet in the Amazon numbers. So like it shows it to more people that way. It promotes it better. So
And you can
yes,
go there
please.
and read mine before you write yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish your book, Albie.
Please do. The ending changes everything,
Yes.
and it sets up the next book. Let me know what you
Okay.
think. Tell me I got no future, or tell me keep
I'm
going.
not gonna tell you that. I'm
Either
very
one.
encouraging to supportive to my friends of creative endeavors.
Thank you.
You know, it's no longer an exclusive Easter egg, because I said it on Stacy's show.
Yep. The
Stacey and
TV
Dave
Deep
show.
Dive DVD Al
Deep
Space
dive.
podcast.
Yes. But Jared didn't know. But one of the Easter eggs, if you look on the cover of the book, sorry, I'm blurring. The leaves on the book, the flowers are 5-petaled flowers, 7 flowers on the branch. A reference to 575.
Wow. Look at that, folks. That's how much thought was put into this book. I highly recommend it. If I need a laugh, if I need a cheering up, I just go to page. And this is my cheat. I just look for one of the art things that piques my interest.
That's good. I like it.
Like tonight.
That is valid.
Can I read another one? Is that all right? Because tonight
Please
I'm going to
do.
watch the movie Sinners finally. This is page 59. Yo mama so I can do it dull. Yo mama so dull. She's always shocked at the end of Hallmark movies. Shocked. I love the ending of Hallmark movies. It's always the same, but I love it.
Yes.
I need that
not
meet cute
bad,
in my life.
but they're not
I'm looking
surprising.
for a meet cute.
Yeah. So you're I don't want to start another conversation. cut out me starting another conversation, but we'll talk about it later.
That's for part 2 of a conversation with Albie with John Irons. Is there anything you didn't mention that you might want to? Oh yeah, Captain Game Show. Where can people find Captain Game Show?
Yeah, I thought I would be talking about Captain Game Show more. I was like, okay, man,
Maybe
I don't
next
know if
time.
I wanna, like if we talk about the book a little bit. I guess I'll talk about Captain Game Show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got so much stuff going on.
I was not expecting the full-fledged interview. Captain Game Show is a trivia and wordplay podcast. It's on the Infinite Potato Alliance podcast network. It's not dead. It's just sleeping.
The Infinite Potato Alliance.
Yes. Please, go back, check out episodes. Go to captaingameshow.com. One of the expenses of my hobby is that I did launch the website, I want to say last year. And every episode I think should be available on that website. You can search by guest. You can search. I promise I'm going to have y'all on, Albie. I promise.
At this point, I don't think you should. It's a better joke that I'm not.
You can search by the game.
199 episodes.
Yes.
Didn't think
you know what? Fun fact.
3 people, 600 people.
In the show notes, because I'm like I'm always surprised that people read show notes. I'm like, I just assume that they're like me and they just don't.
Yeah.
So my show notes are everyone is a haiku.
Really?
The show notes for every episode is a haiku. I do a haiku in which I reference or summarize the episode, but not in a way that would make sense until after you've heard the episode.
I like it.
So I'll put in some line like ride the lion or something, but that doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't make any sense until you hear me play the game that's about the lions. It's like, oh, got it. So yeah, every episode, the show notes of every episode is a haiku. The title of every episode is also similarly a reference to some game or clue that's in the show that it won't make sense until after you've heard it.
Can you write a haiku for this show that I can put in the show notes?
Not
Not on the spot. You can send it to me.
Well,
but if you got it, you're good at this.
You know,
right?
Albie, but I don't think you know John. Let's meet them both now.
Wow. John Irons, thank you so much for being on A Conversation with Albie. Everybody remember, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and share. Let
Ding,
people
ding.
know the great man that John Irons is. I feel like I know you a lot more, and I really thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, like I said, you and I have talked a lot. But like you said, it's always about something. It's never really about us. Like, it kind of comes up in the course of, like, we're talking about Star Trek, or we're talking about Quantum Leap, and, like, you know who the person is, kind of what they, based on how they say. But yeah, like, yeah, this is absolutely the
That is Trek Exploration. 20 minutes of Star Trek in a 2-hour podcast that we talk about everything else but Star Trek.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, man. This is good.
Thank you. Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of A Conversation with Albie. The podcast is hosted, edited, and produced by Albert Burge. The announcer is Zoe Dean. Original music and lyrics for A Conversation with Albie was written and composed by Felicia Frazetta. To support all of Albie's content creations, please visit us at patreon.com/Trekaholic.